up one day.
Yeah.
Oh, we have
It
green.
is.
We have green on the OBS, so that's definitely
It
a
is
good
doable.
sign.
Woo.
Slightly better than the red that we had last time.
What if we all took a flight and met like
Leeds isn't
me
too
at
bad for
halfway?
and it's a little bit
Yeah.
close to Chibi. And also, it'd be really easy to get to Leeds for
probably
Chibi.
somewhere in
so it's been a
France.
station.
Yeah, if we all went to France, we could meet me.
Sweet, sounds good.
Come to Tokyo with me. Come to Tokyo.
I'm going to Tokyo.
Come with me. And we'll
You're
be
going
in
to
a world of
furthest place from everyone.
do.
Literally
it's
on
the
the other
highest
side of the
common
world.
Damn.
Cool. So, welcome to the continuing adventures of the Long Slumber with Tempest Hostis, with a full party back again. Ignore the tab on underneath Martin's webcam. He's not playing the Tiefling Paladin Tam. He is playing. Well, we'll come to who he's playing when that happens.
I have toddled off with Nariman. Tam will be making sure that Nariman comes to no harm between his leaving
Which
of Stragos
actually, considering
up to-
things that were going on, Tam is probably the best person that Nariman could have taken with him for reasons
Yep.
I'm sure you can probably understand. So, for those that obviously were around for the last session, who would like to recap the events in the short version, because I realised there was a lot of story I just dumped on you all.
Short version. Let's go for it. Okay.
And
we
what
went
I'll do
back
as
to
well is
the
pop up
city
the
was it Stragos?
spiders pulled apart, bags, spiders in bags,
if I do
went to
that.
Stragos, took out parts of spiders, sold parts of spiders, got gold back in, went to person in charge, told person about spiders and other things and orcs and names, and Wyvern fly off, and he got scared, didn't tell anybody, didn't want to tell anybody, sent us off, said, you gotta go get that sheep, gotta go get those sheep, get the sheep, yeah, gotta go
Sure.
get that ship, and then the captain just kept bonking her to first hand.
You kept doing what?
Yes, so the captain you have you have boarded an airship known as the Sky Treader, I believe that's what I called it, captained by Jiro Dalan, who is a tabaxi, and her two her right hand men, the Tarley brothers, Reuben and Redford, and it became quickly apparent that they are in a tryst. They are all lovers.
Yes, because they were wearing heart-shaped shorts.
Yes, they were wearing heart-shaped,
Matching.
matching heart-shaped boxer shorts.
You can only wear heart-shaped boxer shorts if you're in a tryst.
Exactly, yeah.
That's kind of how it works. That's the rule.
Like, you can only ever find them as well if you're in a tryst. Like you don't see them in a shop to buy.
Yeah. It's like it's a special order form when you start up
You find them in a
three-way
tryst
romance.
shop.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah, so that's
Yeah, you can give me that stuff for Christmas.
and you then had partway through the journey, you've been attacked by a couple of wyverns that assaulted the ship, and so that is inspiration for Kraylin for doing the.
I'm gonna need it.
You are possibly going to need it.
I'm gonna need it. Yeah.
So we started at the top of the round, and mystery character, could you also roll us an initiative?
And then an initiative.
see
I
when
think
you
I
wake
can.
up.
I think I can.
Should
I
be
believe
able
I can.
to.
I know I can.
Negative.
That one. And
You can
that
count.
one. There we go.
A 10, cool. Your token's out somewhere, isn't it?
10 should be hiding.
I see a 10.
Oh wait, it's failed
Oh, is it-
miserably. So I've just rolled a d20. It's 14.
14. Okay. Where's your token?
It's
It's
on the stairs.
Oh, there it is. Right. Okay. Hold on then.
It's on there at the bottom. It's
yeah,
okay, I'll just
that's
change.
fine.
Were you lurking in the hold and like
You were-
decided to show yourself?
Oh, wow,
147.
Check out
Wow.
my initiative. There we go.
He proceeds Earth and Time, so you will be just after Reuben there. So I'll set the scene for just as a little bit of a recap. The ship is currently being assaulted by wyverns. Jiro is at the helm, trying her best to keep hold of the ship. You did see her activate some sort of something that went over the ship, casting a slight bluish sort of haze over the entire ship. One of the wyverns is clung to the side with a zombie, nicely just dangling away, trying to beat down on this thing. The other wyvern that
Zombie was an MVP.
yeah, the zombie MVP zombie, and the other wyvern that you currently see on the map is it's below the cloud cover about. So there's about 20 feet of about 10 feet of space between the edge of the ship and like the cloud cover, and you, Kraylin, and the wyvern, you're about 20 feet below that. But you currently, everybody on the ship, you don't currently see. You only hear what's going on down there, and you've heard some quite horrendous sounds. So Dax, we shall begin with you at the top of the
Dax.
round.
Awesome. Well, Dax is gonna like run up to here, like on the ship. Off
Yep,
the ship.
that's fine.
He's gonna lean over. I take it it's like that's more than like 5 feet away.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's not quite climbed up to where you are yet.
Okay, and I'm going to cast this at level 4.
Okay. We'll make sure I've just given these things health. Yes, they already have
Where's
health.
Chibi and his dog?
I'm there. I blend
They're
in.
mounted together. 13 is a hit, actually. Yeah, 13 is a hit.
Damn.
These things are not particularly hard to hit, but they have reasonable stack of hit points.
And just so it
Doing
knows...
31 hit points.
Hang on. Wait, no, hang on.
Oh, no? Okay, hold on, I'll plus 31.
Trying to hit that. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it takes 31.
31 hit
And,
points.
the next attack roll made against it
Is at
will
advantage.
get advantage. Yeah.
Yeah, as it's cast around by this glittering silvery light. I also need to roll a thing. What's that? So that's
15. And I'm going to move back to like the center of the ship. Boom.
okay. Beautiful.
Just run over.
Okay. Yeah, you swing round, and shoot forth this arrow of gleaming, dazzling light. Whatgar?
What
Seems
guy
like
seeing
everyone
that
seems to be
there's
converging.
Nothing, yeah, considering there's nothing on that side, what guy will join his compatriots? First, he will check if it is possible for him to join there. It is.
Yep.
He would move here and see the damn thing, and
Yep.
if he has one of the javelins, he will chug the javelin.
Both of its claws stuck into the side of the ship. One of its wings sort of hooked into it, and the other one seemed to try and bat this zombie off.
He will throw a javelin.
Javelin, yes. A stack of javelins was brought up from below. 14 is a hit. Is a javelin the same damage as a
It's advantage.
It's the same, it's
so
a D6.
25.
25? So it's a hit. Is it a D6 as well?
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, so hook this javelin across, aiming for this like beacon of light emanating from it, and it sticks into the side, ripping a small hole through one of the wings. It screeches out in pain.
Do I have another javelin somewhere around me?
You could have. I'd say you could have picked up as many as you
Okay.
could have picked up. I don't know how many that would have been.
No. Well, I'd say I picked up 5 just to be.
Chris? Sorry to interrupt. Chris, you look as if you've been paid for product placement. There you go. Good.
Sorry, yeah, I just realised I'm like patches.
One more, then I will throw one more.
25 is a hit
9
as well. Damn, nice. That's another 9 damage. There's a pair of javelins are now sticking out of the side towards you, Wotgar, and it brings its head around, just sort of screeches in your direction. Are you done?
That's me then.
Beautiful.
Ranged combat. Vodka is not very effective.
This is true. Jiro. Let's see. One hand on this. Actually, no. She's just going to stay there and try and keep control of this ship, realizing that the extra weight on one side is kind of having to make her sort of adjust and keep track of that. She shouts over to Redford. She says, "Get some of the bombs from down below. We'll clear this thing off." And you see Redford just sort of looks in the direction and says, "Yep, okay, I'm on it." 17. Okay, is going to try and shake off the zombie clinging to the side of it. So, so if you can make an athletics or acrobatics check on behalf of the zombie. Zombie.
Come on,
I think athletics is probably the one to go with.
Probably, yeah. You beat it by 1. The wyvern's just shaking and writhing, whapping this wing, trying to sort of beat the zombie off. Dear life. It's really strange to see this sort of like look on a zombie's face, like. But yeah, just hang on for dear life.
Still the MVP.
And with its with the second part of its attack, it's going to make a sting against the ship itself. Well, you can see the sort of the tail stinger sort of whip round and sort of almost sort of goes outside of view. Oh god, hold on, I need to check my things. So I didn't. Yeah, unfortunately that does a hit. You hear the tail of this thing hit against something something glass-like, something quite solid, but there's definitely like that sort of chink of something, and it deals. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You just hear this. Hear the tail sort of chink against the side of the ship at what sounds like, for those that are closest to it, probably the inlaid gems, which you know are part of the mechanism which keeps the ship afloat as best it can. But it didn't sound like there was a major impact. It definitely seemed like there was a smaller impact to what you're expecting. So, Vac.
How far away is like the distance from the edge of the ship to the the wyvern that's on the edge?
About 10 feet or so.
10 feet?
Yeah.
Fuck it, let's go hard.
go ham.
Am I able to control Zeshkal this turn and make him not have his next turn, or I'd have to wait until his turn? I forget what we decided for that.
I think you'd
Because
set
that's
you'd
how the
set
card
you'd
is,
set
it's
it
separate
to
roll.
separate roles, so he's moving himself.
Sorry.
Am I able to? What?
So yeah. Zeshkal is moving himself, and you have your action. So you said go over to the edge of the ship so that you would have your action to do something.
Okay. How do we go about making it alright to take control of him instead of him having his own turn again? I have to wait until his turn?
I'll
forget, I'm sorry.
At this point, I'll say that the two of you sort of you get your you sort of tell him to wait a little bit. Yeah, for ease, I'll take him off the order for now and just he's on your initiative. Just
Okay.
let's make it easy. Because I can't remember exactly how it works with that sort
Yeah,
of thing.
I'll look up again, sorry. I should have had that written down, but I didn't. I will
fine.
use my bonus action because of my spear feat to extend reach.
Yep.
To give my spear an extra 5 foot of reach, so it's 10 foot instead of 5 foot.
Nice.
So I will lean over the edge and just
Stab
try
out.
to jab at it.
Yep.
Spear. Whip. Disadvantage because of sunlight?
Yes, it would be, though even the 18 hits for 9 piercing damage. Yeah, there's a slight glint of sunshine in your eye, which just puts you off, but then you refocus and drive this home into the bulk of the wyvern.
Wait, I think that's all I can do. Let me just look.
Just a question. If you have a spearmaster, then don't you have if you dual wield, you get a D10?
I should. Oh, two-handed. Because if it's two-handed, it's D10. If it's one-handed, it's D8.
You're using one hand?
Yeah, he's got a shield.
Oh, okay.
Got a
okay.
shield, yeah, that makes sense.
I know what your character sheet has. I mean, your
No, you're
character has
fine.
one, but I don't know if it
Yeah.
applies to what you're actually using as equipment.
No worries.
So, yeah, stab
yeah,
out at
that's
Cool.
him done, I guess.
it. Okay, Ruben is going to it comes over to where Jiro is and says that I'll take command of the ship. You're best at fighting, you're much better than I am. I can handle this. I think there's something over there in the underneath the clouds. And he points over to where Kraylin just jumped off. And you see, if anyone's looking that direction, you see she pulls out a small crossbow, like a hand crossbow. Pulls out from this little sort of sheath behind her back, and sword in hand. Giles,
Okay, what can I see? So as I come up
you
the stairs-
are you sort of come to as there is a series of thuds, cracks, screeches, and cries out of pain. You actually do see a pair of thick black talons, kind of just scratching in maybe about a foot from where your head was, and that kind of just wakes you up. You're underneath, well, you're in some sort of storage hold, and you see that there's a set of stairs going up, and that seems to be where the sound is coming from. You hear the sound of rushing wind as well.
As I come up the stairs, are either of the wyverns actually high enough for me to see without looking over the side?
Not without looking over the side, no. You just
Okay,
see
cool.
a bunch of people who seem to be looking over the edge, jabbing their weapons and pointing at something.
Right, so stumbling up the stairs, holding an oversized tankard for such a small person, is a little shaven-headed fella in what looks almost like rags, but seem to have some sort of organisation to them. He has some sort of really baggy trousers on, but he's barefoot. As he stumbles up the stairs, taking a swig from his mug, looks around and goes, "Who's making all this noise? Trying to... Zombies!" And he runs at this zombie here, catches his feet in the grate, falls flat on his face and drops his mug through the gap, and spends the rest of his turn trying to reach his mug through the gap. That's his turn.
A very
Character sounds familiar.
A very small humanoid figure just comes rushing up, stumbling in front of you. Yeah. Okay, Kraylin. Well, not Kraylin. The wyvern that has Kraylin in its grasp is going to sting you with its tail again. 21 is a hit on you, I believe. Oh dear. That is 14 piercing damage. And can you make me a Constitution saving throw, please? As you feel this this thick liquid just sort of pushing through your body.
Hey.
No, not my spell book. Come on.
Alright.
22, nice. That's definitely a save, but there is it's half damage on that. So, oh god, hold on. Because I don't have that many d6 out. 14 poison damage.
Jesus.
Yeah, even a half damage, that rolled some numbers. And
Okay.
yeah, that's and actually it starts taking you back to this direction, still clutching you in the talons, but starting to move away.
Okay.
And yeah, you just sort of feel this tail stick into your side and pull out as it starts flying away with you. It's your turn. What would you like to do?
I would like to not die. So
I'd recommend that.
That's good for your health.
Yeah, definitely.
I am going to cast as a bonus action.
Yep.
Because I like to do that first. I do everything backwards. I just like.
Pulsing green light, which everyone above the cloud cover sees is sort of like pulse of green. And you hear "Shillelagh" shouted to the heavens. Your spell activates.
And then I cast Wild Shape.
Yeah, as an action. Sure. What are you wild shaping into?
Form of
Rhino.
Constrictor.
Rhino. Constrictor snake. Okay. Sure. Let me just. We'll just say that you're a snake for ease of transferring tokens. Yeah. So you are a snake. Still grappled as your shape shrinks down. You feel the talons are still sort of close around you slightly, but.
Oh, am I really shrinking down? I thought it was growing in size.
I can't. Sorry, I can't remember if constrictor snakes are large or smaller.
Large beast.
The large beast. So yeah, you do actually grow slightly. Make me Just make me just a plain dexterity check on behalf of with the snake stats.
Really?
Yeah.
Dex, my worst stat.
As a snake. Yeah, you rolled a natural 1. You, as part of the moving around and transforming into the snake, it's not quite sure what's going on. It's trying to hold on to this moving shape, and in that sort of process, you kind of wrap around it. You're not currently grappled, but you are still sort of wrapped around slightly to hold on to it.
Sweet.
So yeah, you are currently ungrappled.
And just basically then, just before I finish my move, I am going to kind of slither my head up to the side of its face and go, "Hey there, big boys." In snakish.
In
parcel
snakish,
tongue.
which it doesn't speak, so it doesn't really understand. It just sees. There's a look of confusion on the wyvern's face as this snake is now in its clutches. Though seeing it as a snake, it's kind of like there's a slight extra bit of hunger, food. So, is that you done then?
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Okay, Redford. Second, just quickly, just like double checks at this halfling who came rushing up from below his deck, extremely confused. Looks like he's about to sort of shout something angrily at you, and realizes there's something bigger going on here. Rushes below the ship with half his movement. Comes back just a little bit behind with this bundle of small round objects with string sort of like wrapped around them, and throws one at the wyvern on the side of the ship. Can your zombie make me a dexterity saving throw, please?
No, Kevin!
Yes, can Kevin make a dexterity saving throw?
Oh god.
You've lived through
God.
yours, Kevin.
Ooh, fucking Kevin is MVP. Right, sure, okay. It's a definitely a success. Definitely a successful save, though the wyvern isn't quite as dexterous. So Kevin takes what's that? 8 damage, 8 fire damage, and the wyvern takes 16 fire damage as Redford pulls out this small stone-like looking orb, holds it against something at his waist, and it suddenly lights up into fire, and he throws it at the direction of the wyvern and the zombie, and yeah, it hits with a miraculous explosion of fire, dealing some damage to the wyvern. And it says, "Take that, you beast! Get off my ship!"
Oh, blow up, Kevin!
Just from behind, you hear a, "It's not your ship, Redford!" Akima, what would you like to do? You see this wyvern is now looking very, very haggard. It actually looks like it's probably going to start to move away from its position.
Right.
Though, make me a perception check, actually, before you do anything. You think you hear the screech of a third wyvern somewhere off towards the if that's north to the east. So where the ship is pointing, you hear a similar sounding screech. And
Guys, I can sort of hear another one coming.
More zombies?
No, not zombies, you idiot.
Eh, what?
Humans.
Akima, what would you like to do?
I'm going to tell Kevin to attack.
You know what?
Attack Kevin.
For Kevin's abilities during this fight, I'll give you inspiration advantage on this attack roll. He seems to be filled with an undead sort of just lust of power.
Kevin, go!
Kevin
Go,
MVP
Kevin,
zombie.
go.
15 is enough.
Nice.
15 is
Oh my
enough for
Nice.
11 bludgeoning damage.
Kevin.
Still one
Kevin
half.
died. We build a memorial.
One's mottled hand holding on to one of the scales, the other one just punching this thing in the head.
Nice.
Each sort of each punch just seems to be knocking this knocking this wyvern about.
I can't currently see the wyvern in sight with.
No, if you go up the stairs a little bit if you go up to there, you could probably see it.
Yeah, I'll move myself over there. Then.
Yep.
And I will. Yeah, I'll throw a witch bolt at it.
Okay.
Leave.
Which bolt? 15 is a hit for 8. It's lightning damage, isn't it? Is there anything
Yeah.
about lightning damage? No, there isn't.
Is it?
Well, yeah, it's lightning damage.
Oh.
Let me sling this bolt of energy towards the wyvern, which socks it in the side of the head, and it sort of shakes and convulses with the thunder rattling with a lightning effect rippling through it. And you can see actually it spits out this glob of like blackish green something on the edge of the ship. Blood seeping down from the 2 wounds where it had been stabbed with the javelins. Side of its body scorched from the bomb. It's looking very badly wounded. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
There's no way.
Fling another zombie off.
There's no way to really save Kevin, is there?
You could instruct the zombies to attempt to kind of human ladder their
Oh my
way
I was
onto
gonna
him
say-
if you want. So, because like you hold onto the ship and you hold onto his arms, and then throw themselves over the edge, so they're kind of human laddering. If you wanted to try,
Also, he's very close to the ship. You could just instruct him to climb back onto the
Yeah, you
ship.
could
I mean,
just
the
say-
wyverns hit the ship.
Yeah.
So.
I'll tell him to come back up.
okay.
Come here, Kevin.
And the other 2 zombies like take his 2 hands and pull him up onto the side of the ship and sort of throw him sort of behind where Vac is. It
Oh, yeah.
does get an attack of opportunity though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use
Which-
something on him.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, it rolled a 5, so 5. Oh, actually, no, that probably would hit because I've got low ACs, wouldn't don't they? Because it's
I
5.
9.
Would a 5 have hit?
Well, it's
actually, no, don't say it,
it's
because
a
I-
5 plus its modifier, so that would be.
I'm looking at Zeshkal. Okay, Vac is the
Oh,
one I
they've
want to
got
look at.
class of 8.
Yeah, no, this beats it unfortunately.
I was going to
So I
use
didn't have the modifier.
warding maneuver. If you or a creature within 5 feet is hit with an attack, you can spend 1 superiority die as a reaction. If you're wielding a weapon or a shield, roll the die and add the number rolled to the target's AC against the attack. If the attack still hits, the target has resistance against the target's damage.
Okay, so do you want to? Yep.
So it
Okay.
says damage because I couldn't find like a
Yeah.
dice that
So
wasn't
you add that
damage,
to the zombie's AC,
which is now 13.
13,
Yes,
and if it
AC.
still hits,
it takes resistance, so half.
12 misses.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kevin just
Just
like
as
flung over and his claw tries to go and his back is going.
Kevin's just pulled up onto the surface. Okay, top of the round then, Dax.
I'm going to ready a spell as an action for basically if I hear or see this other wyvern come into view. I'm going to cast it obviously
Yep.
on it, or cast it.
So you're looking out that direction for something
Well,
that's
it's going to
come
be
to view.
either one. If I see the one that's carrying Kraylin or the new one that's supposedly coming,
Okay, right.
I will
Okay.
cast it on either of them two, but not the
So
one that we've got loads
so
of
the
damage
first
to.
so first wyvern you see that isn't that one.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Move or bonus? Do you want to do anything, or are you just
Uh,
literally just sort of holding there,
Oh, hang
scanning
on,
these guys?
bonus, actually, yes, there is something I want to do. I think it's level 2. Yes. I'm going to cast this.
Okay. Spiritual weapon. Is that a bonus action?
Yeah.
Right. Fair enough. Cool. So what you casting that against? The wyvern on the side of the ship.
Yeah, we're on the side of the ship.
Cool. Yeah, 25 is a definite hit, and 10 is enough to wipe this thing out. What form does your spiritual weapon take?
Just like almost like it's like a cross, but with like an axe head
Yeah.
on it. Like it's like
The
like,
swings around, sticks into the neck of the wyvern, and you just see the eyes sort of roll back in its head, its claws and wings release from the side of the ship. Kevin just scrambling out of the way as this goes for that last ditch claw out, just falls away from the ship below the cloud cover with this cry of pain. Yeah.
Sounding mysteriously like a cat.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, yeah, holding on for the next one
and
that
then
you
I'm
see.
going to move it like 20. I'm going to move it like to on that there.
Like the middle of the ship somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's
I'm gonna
fine.
Move it to like there.
Cool, no worries. Okay, what gar? Yeah, at this point you would have, you've heard and been told that there was something coming from that direction, but you can't currently see it. Well, you can make me a perception check to see if you do see anything.
Sure, I'll move here and then check if I see anything. Just a second. Perception goes with the P, right?
Yes, it does. Looking out across the clouds, seeing if there's anything that you can see. You're not really seeing anything. You've certainly heard it, but it sounds like the sort of the screech of whatever was there has stopped, like quite abruptly as well. Not like it's.
Do I see anything? Do I see the Krillin?
No, that one is still below the cloud cover.
Still
You saw
below the
you saw like roughly where it is, so you can sort of make an attack in that direction. But obviously it would be at disadvantage.
Sure, I'll try to make one. Let's
Okay.
see what happens, just for the hell of it. $14.
Okay. Yep. 14 is you sort of fling one of your. Is this one of the javelins as well?
Yes.
Yeah, you take the javelin and sort of throw it in the direction, and you do hear the screech. Kralin be alright backed, but you hear in Kralin's voice shouting up. Well, no, you don't, because he's a snake, so it doesn't matter. 6 slashing damage.
Going.
Okay.
That's close.
I'm gonna throw another one just for the hell of it.
Sure.
Let's see what happens. Yep.
Yeah, no, that's
It's disadvantage, right? Yep, I failed.
yeah,
Natural.
Now
one.
you hear.
yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, the Wyvern has advantage on you if it decides, sort of knows where you are and is going to come and strike. Well, knows it has advantage, but yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Jiro is going to come to the side of the ship and take out this hand crossbow and sort of levels it in kind of the area where it looks like you were looking, where you threw the javelin, and is going to pull the hand crossbow, and yeah, she had disadvantage actually, wouldn't she? And yeah, you see she just sort of like is caught by a gust of wind as it just sort of blows the bolt off to the side. She curses into backseat. Yeah. And she just says, sort of shouts back to Ruben, "Steady, I think we might have some more." Vac and Zeshkal.
Are gonna pop 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Gonna sneak around Gar onto like the mast of the ship there and look out. Is he able to see anything?
Sure, give me a perception check. Does
Disadvantage
Blink
'cause the sun-
But does Blink Dog have advantage on any perception checks as being a dog, or am I making up things?
I don't.
Believe-
He's
Some-
got keen smelling.
Keen
Well,
smell.
hearing and smell.
So yeah, you can
Smell.
sort of see if Zeshkal smells anything.
Sure.
So
And hearing,
yeah,
right, as well.
Hearing, true, yeah.
yeah.
But I guess it's like either one, or you know,
So,
like to go. Yeah.
Basically, he
Well,
tries
it's just
to
on.
perceive with all of his
Yeah,
senses.
perceive with all
Yeah.
of his senses, but he has advantage because of his dog ears.
Okay. So that's disadvantage for that.
Disadvantage for you. There you go. If you do one for
Perception.
Zeshkal.
Whip.
Yeah, once again, it's even with Zeshkal's sort of heightened senses, can't seem to smell. Is definitely aware that there is obviously the one to the left there, but can't seem to smell anything too far ahead. And you can't hear the screeching of another wyvern.
Okie dokie. That requires me being able to see it, so I can't really do anything.
Yeah.
I will ready an action with Zeshkil that if one of them gets within, like, 15 to 10 feet of the ship,
Yeah.
to jump at it with me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that sounds fine.
Wait.
So-
Is that not within 10 feet of the ship now?
It would be, but it's below cloud cover.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not able to
you
see
can't
it.
see it. It's just there, so you know. So Krellin knows where it is in relation to things. Yeah, it's actually it's about 20. What I say? It was it's about 20 feet below the cloud cover, so about 30 feet from the edge of the ship.
So I'm readying Zeshkal to jump
Okay.
at it, to then fight and teleport back, and before he does teleport, Vak's readying an attack.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. Ruben is as well just going to listen to Jiro's word, and actually makes a realizing that one's come off to the side of the ship there and one was to the side of the ship there, is actually going to spend his turn lowering the ship a little bit, sort of slightly below the cloud cover,
Oh, no.
and you see this thing to the side of the ship. It's sort of flying away with this giant snake kind of wrapped around its body, but sort of flying ahead of where you are. So it is currently basically level with the ship now.
I was really expecting you to say that the ship lowers and there were 10 wyverns.
There are 20 wyverns. No, so yeah, it's basically on the same level that you are. Giles.
Can I do my...
Oh, sorry, yeah, any
my-
held actions for being able to see the wyvern now, yeah, as it is within range. So, Dax,
Yes.
your attack first.
I cast command,
Mm-hmm.
and I point to the middle of the ship and go, land!
Okay, wisdom save,
And
isn't
they-
it?
Yes.
What's your DC?
17.
It's got a 9. Yeah, so it's you sort of speak the words, and you sort of see them enter the around the head of the wyvern. It kind of looks at you and then looks at the center of the ship. Yeah.
Does it understand common?
Ooh, is that a thing?
Was that a thing?
Yeah, they have to be able to understand
Oh.
the command.
If
The
it
spell
doesn't
has no effect if the target
doesn't
is
understand
undead,
your
if it doesn't
language.
understand your language.
Does it understand?
I don't think wyverns do. I'll just double check.
Let's rock it.
I think they're animals. I think that's just stupid.
Hmm.
Well, that's one way of saying it. I will just double check.
Oh no, but
Check
some
one
animals do. And that's
Yeah, some do.
I didn't think that through.
And actually, knowing what's going on here, yes, it does kind of half understand common. A very basic grasp of common. So yes, it does take effect, actually. Thinking on. Which, yes, you think as you sort of cast the spell, you remember, oh, this is a beast. Wait, hang on, it understood me slightly. But yeah, it certainly turns its head and looks towards the centre of the ship. Vac as well, you would have your attack would go off.
Okay, is it currently flying towards the ship, or is it? The same
It's sort of
distance
flying at the same, like, parallel to the ship, though you have seen it sort of, like, turned its head towards the centre of the ship, with a sort of, like, glazed over look in its face.
Okay, so Zeshka will 5, 10, 15, and then leap at it.
Okay, yeah, easy enough to do at that range. With you on the back of it?
Yes.
Okay. So,
So
jumps
before he
over,
teleports,
claws into the wyvern for a grip.
2 character sheets is difficult.
Yep.
Vac is going to spear it. Damn.
Ooh, nice. Yep,
26.
that's a 9 piercing damage.
And then
Spear into
Zeshka
the
is going
side.
to nummy nums.
Nummy
Nom
noms.
nom nom nom.
18 is a
Nice.
hit as well.
And
For
then
10
we are
piercing
going
damage.
to blink the hell back. Oh, just get any kind of thing.
Yeah, that's
There
fine.
we go. Try that again. Boop.
You blink backwards.
See.
Within 40 feet, so...
Back onto the ship. Just about there.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so, Giles. You're very confused seeing what's going on. There's zombies, there's teleporting dogs, there's big dragon things, there's a giant snake. You're in the air for some reason. You don't remember being in the air.
Oh, I haven't noticed that yet.
Oh, fair enough.
Right, so You see Giles fall. His mug goes clank and drops through the bars. He drops prone and grabs the mug through the bars as it's falling in an unexpected fleet of dexterity. Stands up tipsily just in time to see the zombie coming over the rails and goes, "Zombies! They're coming over the sides!" And he's going to start backing in this direction. Seemingly distracted while backing away by his mug, he looks down at the dregs and just sort of goes, trying to get the dregs out. And while he's doing that, he stumbles clean backwards over the side and lands on that.
Yeah.
So, and all you hear is, "Whoa, where's the water gone?"
Oh, there's something here. You turn around, it's like, shit! A thing.
Yeah, so he then smacks into the wyvern, sort of feels the ground behind him and goes, "Ah!" and whacks it with his mug.
Okay. Bonk. A 10 is a miss, I'm afraid.
That's alright. That's it. So
8 bashing damage, I like it.
Just a quick question. Did you take the stats from when we played, or did you?
No. He does have slightly better stats. He's just gonna be shit.
Okay. I'm just asking because I know you had shitty stats back then.
They were dreadful stats. Yeah, but a little bit better. Not brilliant.
So you got your bonus still? Unless you used your
No,
bonus.
that's it.
Fair enough.
He used
Cool.
his bonus drinking from his mug or falling off or doing something else that was ridiculous and pointless.
Fair enough. No worries. Cool. So the wyvern, seemingly understanding. You're back, Kraylin. Seemingly understanding the words of Dax. Just for ease, just because you're sort of wrapped around this thing, let's sort of keep you off and just say that you're on it, just for ease, so I can see what's going on. But yeah, this thing comes down and lands in the bottom of the floor. Then once its task has finished, strikes out at the first thing that it sees, which would be the zombie in front of you, which is Kevin, unfortunately.
No, I'm not within range of Kevin.
Yeah, that's a hit. He rolled a 17.
Yeah, that's a hit, I would say.
Yeah.
13 piercing damage. As the teeth sort of sink into the top half of his body.
Oh, Kevin.
And then swings its tail round to make a stinger attack. And rolls a 1, so fails on that one. Critical fail. Ooh, ignore the result. But yeah, you missed a stinging.
Kevin.
And then at that, it's sort of.
Are zombies immune to poison?
I think they are, yeah.
They should be, but
Yeah.
There's still like the piercing portion of the
Yeah.
damage, but yeah,
of
the
course,
poison you
I'm
would
just
avoid.
asking for verification purposes.
Yeah, and then the wyvern sort of like with its wings to its side, kind of like perks its head up and looks around, very confused, in your direction, Dax. Snakeland. What would you like to do?
Yes. So, yeah, I'm gonna constrict the fuck out of this thing.
Okay.
I'm going to zip all the hell around it. Pulling his tail, pulling his legs, pulling his wings, pulling his head. I'm gonna make this thing look like a damn pretzel.
Yep. And start squeezing around its body.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything I need to do? Roll or?
I have no idea, do you?
I was hoping that you would know the abilities of the things, the monsters you're trying to turn into. Let me look at Constrictor
so
Snake.
I can constrict,
Okay.
but I don't know if there's like a saving throw on it.
Let me just see. Giant Constrictor
What?
Snake. Constrict. So it's a +6 to hit. So roll a d20 +6. Giant Constrictor Snake, which is a huge beast. Can you transform into a huge beast? Oh, it's challenge rating 2 though.
Ah, come on! Keep hitting the wrong button. Sorry.
Or is it a Constrictor Snake?
Oh yeah, you don't have the same buttons. Sorry.
Oh, if it's the Constrictor Snake, yeah, so it's a +4, so -2 from that still hits it. So it's a 1d8 +2 bludgeoning damage, so roll 1d8 +2. Nice, 10 bludgeoning damage, and oh, hold on.
Is it grappled?
Yes, it is considered grappled immediately
Nice.
for 10.
More than that, it's isn't it restrained?
So yes, until his grapple ends,
restrained.
creature is restrained. So yeah, escape DC 14.
Get the shit out of my boys!
You hear a series of hisses and more hisses. As this snake kind of wraps its way around the body of the wyvern, screeching out in pain. Its wings sort of folded up at awkward angles. Is that you done?
I'll teach you to bite me. Yeah, that's me done.
Cool. Redford. He's going to run forward and restrain, so it has advantage on attacks. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. So slashes out with its it's two attacks with its scimitar. That rolled a 13, so that's definitely a hit. Though I'll roll for advantage just in case. 20. That was a hit as well. Second one. Ooh. Yeah, definitely need that advantage. So that was 2 strikes. Scimitar is... Why the hell did I not put down the stats for a scimitar? Well, it has a...
1d6.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Why did I not write them down? I have pair of
I
scimitar.
use that as the cultist.
Yeah. Why did I not put that in? I don't know. 6, 7, 15 slashing damage against this wyvern as just a couple of quick strikes just slashes out with these scimitars in his hand. You see behind him the sort of small pile of black stone orbs behind him, 5 of them. Yeah, that's what he does. Actually, what he does before he moves, he drops the orbs, takes both of his scimitars out, and points one at the wyvern, and shouts, "You're mine, Scaly!" Runs forward, adding a D8 to his attacks. Nice, cool. So adding some extra damage. Yeah. Cool, that's what he does. Akima.
Alright. Seeing Kevin taking so many hits. Leave my baby alone. I'm gonna
Makeup
cast
streaming
blight.
down your face. Leave him alone!
Leave me alone. I'm gonna cast blight.
Blight, nice. Let's say con save.
Yeah.
Okay. Failed its con save. You need to roll damage for that, so... yeah, because it hasn't got damage on there. And I'm assuming that's just a level 4 blight, is it?
Yeah. Why won't you do it this way? Let's check. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Could be right.
8? Is it really 8d8?
Yeah.
Yep, fair enough.
Like
25. Akima, how would you like to do this?
Oh.
See the form of this this wyvern sort of crampled up, screeching down at Redford.
Fuck you! Leave my kids alone! And
Turns its head in a last-ditch effort, realising the words as it speaks out to you. You see its face just sort of go white. The colour just drops from its body. It starts to shrink and wrinkle up together. Kraylin, you're immediately able to let loose as this thing is now starting to get smaller and smaller in you, and the body just withers away and is dead. The last-ditch breath just dust into the wind. Yeah.
Damn it.
It's combat over.
Awesome. Vaxis like this.
Just as a bonus move, I'm just gonna basically fall back into my own shape,
Yep.
lying back on the deck of the ship, going, "You guys took long enough."
Did you have fun up there?
No.
How is your flat?
And there's a little halfling like kicking at the dust and like Kill it! Kill it! Oh, I think
You want to fill this hole in my back?
Oh,
dead.
Hold on.
Ah! Zombies! And I'll like fall back and trip over the grate again.
Hi, so there's a couple of you that are looking a little bit beaten. Is there anyone that could do with a little pick me up?
Zach is already kind of gone over to Krylin because Krylin was nice to him and is like gonna cast a couple cure wounds on his back. Okay, Big Blue, you fine. Make better. No pain. Only good.
Also, for those of you that hadn't leveled up to level 10
Okay,
yet,
let's go for more.
yes, we have
4 of them.
nice
He's just like batting you like a cat.
series
None
of
us leveled
humans.
to level 10, did we?
Well, I know Martin leveled up to 10 because he was only going to be in it for 2-3 rounds max. So yeah, you are at level 10 now.
Yeah.
It was meant to be at last.
I'm immune to poison now.
Are you now? You're immune to poison.
Now I'm immune to
Oh, that's awkward. That is awkward. So
This is how you learn. This is a learning
this
experience.
is true. So if anyone wants to roll for their health, or
That was
you
15
can
health and cure wounds.
or you can just take the basic
I'm
stats.
I'm taking my average,
Yeah.
which is now 8. So
Cool.
Nice.
6 plus.
but obviously only our max goes up. I can't.
You're using up your hit die. Okay, fair enough.
I was going to.
Just so you're aware, you only get half back on a long rest, so you won't get them all back. Okay, just as long as you're aware that you're using them all up quite quickly there. But I'm sure you know what your plans are. Yeah, so you can either roll for your healths or take the standards. But yes, you are now level 10, so you are all together now.
I could have healed you for a lot of that in one go.
I need to heal quickly.
He could have done it
Yes.
quickly without you spending hit dice.
Yes, I am a healer.
You
So
see
why?
Kraylin just sort of drop down to sit down cross-legged and kind of start patching up his own wounds, and you sort of wander over, your hands glowing with radiant energy. Fair enough, he's doing it himself. So yeah, we can say this is a short rest. So if anybody else wants to spend hit dice or anything, while you-
Giles is going to sit like swinging his legs in the holes, and he's got a little cask around his shoulder which he's going to pour into his mug, and he's like going to be spending the time glaring at the zombies and occasionally muttering under his breath. Zombies shouldn't be. Bloody zombies scare the hell out of a man. Where's the water gone?
Leave
On a
Kevin
ship
alone.
with no water. Anyone want a drink?
Jiro
As if I
comes
might need one.
Jiro comes over to the group.
Pause your drink.
Instructs Reuben and Redford to sort of just pull the wyvern light to the side, and she says, "Chuck that thing overboard. We shouldn't need that." And
Is the body like completely withered away, or
it's pretty withered away. You think that you could probably get well, what I mean, the body is still there. It's still withered away. The colour looks like it's drained. Its body has sort of shrunken down slightly.
the main thing that
you can attempt
Zach really
to.
cares about?
What is it you're attempting to do with it?
Remove the tail stinger.
Okay. Give me a dexterity check. Unless you have proficiency with some sort of carvery, knives, kit.
No.
Unless you do just want to just take the whole section of the tail, in which case you could just chop that off easily.
Oh, then yeah. I'll
Yeah,
bring it to
sure,
the
fair
back
enough.
end, what you can find.
Yeah, so
Oh,
you.
guidance, thank you. So I'll use the guidance to help remove the tail.
Oh, well, I was going to say, if you're just wanting to
Just
take like
remove
the
the
section of the tail, yeah, there's still like a little bit of the tail left, but the stinger is pretty reasonably intact. Obviously, the blight spell has sort of shrunk it down slightly, and you guess that if there is any poison left inside it, that's probably withered away and is probably inert. But there's probably still a little bit left in it, you imagine.
Okay, okay.
And yeah, Reuben and Redford just like, all right, whatever. They step to the side, let you do your work. Now can we get rid of it?
Yeah, yeah.
And
Thank you.
between the two of them, they 1, 2, and just launch this thing over the edge of the ship.
Doc just kind of like lifts the big chunk of tail up and just drops it into Chester.
Yeah.
What is that? And I'll point at Chester.
It's friend.
Okay, it's friendly zombies, friendly furbolgs, friendly. What are you?
Carpbald. What's you?
A friend, a doggy. He's cute. He's a little dog. Want a drink?
He's already. Zesko's already got sort of gone over to him and so like trying to sniff, and it's just like alcohol. Ooh.
Oh, Zesko is an
It's
alcoholic dog. Fair enough.
Furbolg, and there's bloody hell, and he'll like look up at Dax and like fall flat on his back trying to look at you.
Towering on you.
It's a giant.
I mean, he's on the ground with all Johnny on his face looking away at him. La 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 la.
And I like ruffle his ears.
I'm a friendly giant.
No.
I'm what you call a BFG.
You want some bits? It's good. It's very good. I've only got this small mug, and he holds up the like mug that looks huge in his small hand. You want some?
Like I lean down like.
Yes. It's good. I got it from. Actually, I'm not sure, but it's very good. I hope I can get some more.
I take it. I take what's like a mouthful to me.
That's good. It's good.
I sort of like hand it back down to me.
Thank you.
As you've been having this conversation, you sort of notice that Redford. There was a bit of shouting from Jiro, and Redford comes back out from the hold with a bundle of ropes and bits of wood and a small sort of satchel with some sort of tools. Pushes the zombies out of the way, attaches this some sort of like seat onto the edge of this ship, and starts just sort of lowering himself down. You can hear him just sort of like tapping away with the tools and things. You hear Jiro shout to Ruben, "Take hold of the ship. Then we got a stowaway on board." And you see this. Sorry, what's your name again? Giles. You see this. You see this tall tabaxi lady come and stand sort of behind you. If you're like on the floor, she's like looking down at you. She's got both of her hands on her hips.
Hey, Kitty, you want some drink?
She reaches down, takes the mug from you, and takes a swig from it.
It's good ale.
Still holding on to it. Now I know why. I think I know why these people are on this boat, but I don't really appreciate stowaways. Do you mind telling me how exactly you find yourself?
I'm not a stowaway. There was a place with some really good. Was she? I might be a stowaway. I don't think I'm a stowaway. Where are we going?
Well, I believe you've got some friends to be making. I've got repairs to this ship that need doing. Now that you've invited on some all manner of chaos, Ruben.
There's still zombies.
Wait, we didn't invite the wyverns.
This was supposed to be just a simple. We go over there, you drop you off, and I go back home. There was no mention of any wyverns, danger.
Do you think I would be going if I knew there would be wyverns on the route?
No, I don't think you would have done.
Worried about the zombies. And I like stand
The
up.
zombies are fine.
Follow.
Kevin is nice. Leave Kevin alone. Leave Kevin alone.
Hold on a minute.
So, friendly zombies, like a friendly giant.
Like
Okay. What about you? And I'll like look up at Kralin. He's a very big furbolg.
It's not my fault.
He speaks. He was friendly too.
Sorry?
He's a friend. Never mind. Have some ale. Everyone get some ale with more ale, and I'll hand you a mug whether you like it or not.
Okay.
You hear down from like the side of the ship. Stay away from my private stash. It's got my name on it. If I see any one of those crates broken into, you're all going off the edge.
She's got a stash.
That's quite a ballsy remark considering he's dangling by rope over the edge of the ship.
The two of them are there. Jiro came in as well. She sort of jumped herself off to the side. You imagine they've probably got some sort of harnesses attached to the actual ship as opposed to just dangling over on a piece of rope.
I've already been over once before today. I'm not doing that again.
Yes, and you have me to thank for making it safely back on the ship. Considering you turned yourself into a damned snake in the middle of the air, thousands of feet high. What were you thinking?
Kind of a moron jumps off a ship anyway.
Thousands of
Asking
feet.
the real questions there.
Did wonder whether she had gone.
He survived. He was fine.
So he came on looking worse than I don't know what. He just
Zombie?
yes,
Kevin?
he looked worse than Kevin. She looked. I don't.
While they're
How much did
arguing, Vac is
Yeah?
up at the edge of the ship with his primeval awareness, trying to sense if any humanoids are within 5 miles.
5 miles. No.
It takes a minute. No? Okay.
Yeah, you sort of spend time.
Just while they're fighting,
sort of
targets.
sat there peering out into the wilderness. It doesn't seem like you're seeing anything that you know isn't the people behind you.
Who's this fellow? Because he's been there for a while.
That's Dax.
Oh, Stax. All right, you're using a different one last time. There we go. All right, now I know.
I'm kind of just sitting staring at Dax going, why are you so
Just gonna take a quick
angry?
break.
Okay.
Not angry. It's just you jumped off the ship for no reason. You got served, and then you transmorphed into something that wasn't even able to fly. So what would happen if that wyvern flew off with you?
What kind of idiot jumps off a skyship?
Exactly. He's drunk and he knows not to jump off a skyship.
The kind that can fly himself.
Oh,
I didn't see you doing anything to that wyvern. You all seem to be concentrating on the other ones. Was there other ones? Because I don't even see anything. Did I tackle the only wyvern here?
No, you did not tackle the only wyvern here. If you must, though, there was 2 more.
Really?
Well, there was one on side at the ship, and then there was one coming, but then it went silent. No, I'm
No,
telling
why did you ruin it?
Surprise!
As far as he was concerned, there was 3 wyverns.
I saw many zombies, and there was at least 2 wyverns.
Kevin was a hero.
Kevin was an
Kevin
unreal-
killed 2.
Tell
Kevin
me this,
killed
Dax.
himself.
Dax, can you fly?
No.
Well, then
But
the
I
next
can-
time you fall off the edge, I'll remember your advice and not jump myself.
Just remember, just because I'm a lithe cleric, I give it and I take it away.
Mic drop.
Yeah, I've noticed what you've done with our prisoners.
You guys are very tense.
I call my god fellow.
Divine intervention. Let's not use it too early.
Divine intervention.
So, yeah, you're all having conversations and talking with each other. Giles, you're just things are going on, but as far as you're concerned, yeah, they're very tense. They think they just need a good drink, and a good sit down and just a rest after what's going on.
I'm not going to listen to this anymore.
Partway through through your sort of arguments, he jumps off the edge of the ship. I'm done. I'm fucking out, guys. I need a new adventure. Yeah, Ruben comes over to the group, and if you're all quite done arguing, I've got a few little things here. If we're going to be running into some more danger, these might come in handy. And he holds out three of these black-looking orbs that he has. Now, do be careful with them. As you can see, that one I threw was more of an explosion, fire-based effect. Let me see. I've got a sticky one here. and I believe this one is either a poison or a smoke bomb. I'm not 100% sure. If you want to take them, they might come in handy. I should be able to make some more, but anything I can do to just take care of this ship, because it seems like that you're going to be attracting some sort of attention, regardless of where we end up.
I'll take up a poison one.
You know what? I don't think you're the best one to be holding on to those ones, as he sees you just sort of gently swaying in the breeze.
No? Oh.
Dwarf, tell you what, Dwarf,
Turns to back,
you hold on to
turns his
these.
pants up.
And what guy hands you these three stone-looking orbs? So you have a sticky bomb, one that is either poison or smoke, and a powder bomb.
Sticky, powder, and
Poison
Alright,
poison or smoke.
For everyone's troubles, let me lock us up a feast for the day.
Okay.
And with that, I...
Oh, I could murder a kebab.
What the hell's a kebab?
Shall I think, would you do like performance or arcana, like to see how well I do it or something? See what I make?
It's up to you. What kind of feast are you trying to come up with? Are you trying to come up with something hearty and fulfilling, or are you trying to come up with something fancy and ritzy that looks amazing?
Fancy and ritzy that looks amazing.
Then give me a performance check.
I'm terrible with performance.
You try and fashion a stand of various meats and breads into the shape of a swan. Looks a bit more like a seagull than a swan, but you know, you tried, and it's still reasonable food. Redford and Jiro come up and they join you on after their break. They're looking. You can see sweat sort of pouring down their faces. They're quite happy to join you.
There's gallons of water there as
Exactly,
well.
yeah. Which is upsetting to you, Giles. You would have thought you see these big sort of tankards of something, and like, oh my god, more ale! It's just water.
This is really weak. It's like from those states that do. I'm sticking to my own. You have some. I'll pour out another mug for someone else.
Reuben sits.
I'll take some ale.
Yeah. Cool. So you sit down to a pretty good meal for the day, and you feel yourself nourished and filled up. Reuben comes and sits down next to you, Watgar, and explains the basics of how his bombs work. They are 30-60 range weapons, so 30 and past that will be disadvantage. The powder bomb, they all explode in a 15-foot radius. The powder bomb is a dexterity saving throw versus your ability save. So whatever yours is would be, or they take. Sorry, hold on.
Could you repeat everything again? Just
okay. So the bombs are 30-60. So 30 and beyond that they're at disadvantage, and then beyond 60 you can't hit.
Okay, that's reasonable.
They're 15-foot radius explosions. So it's like on a point that you set.
Sure.
And the so the sticky bomb. All creatures in the area must succeed on a dexterity saving throw, and the DC would be. Let me just double check this because it's theirs because he technically made it. It would be 15. So the DC is 15 on all of these. So the sticky bomb is a dexterity saving throw, or they're restrained.
Yeah.
The powder bomb is a dexterity saving throw, or they take 4d6 fire damage, and half as much on a successful save.
I don't have fire.
Hmm?
I don't have fire. I have poison or smoke and powder.
Yeah, you give him 3 bombs. One of them he knew was a sticky, one of them was a powder bomb, and the third one he wasn't sure whether it was a poison or...
Powder is an explosion.
Sorry, yes. Yeah, powder is the exploding one.
Okay, yeah, that one then. Okay. I was like, what kind of a powder?
Yeah.
Black powder.
Yeah, essentially. The smoke bomb is a is a cloud of heavily obscuring smoke for 10 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
And the poison bomb is a con save or 2d6 poison damage, and half on a failed save. Sorry, half on a successful save. I will copy those out if you do want another copy of those.
Con save.
Yeah, con.
Con save. They're all 15 feet. You said.
Yep.
Heavy, obscure.
Yeah. And to throw them would be just your dexterity, unless you want... Ruben says that you're probably not going to be able to be particularly good with these, but if you spend a bit of time, he's got some dummies that he can sort of throw around so you can learn proficiency with them, but at the moment you wouldn't be.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Vodka has time, so he'll be doing that.
Yeah, you've got... what are we in? 2 days in?
I
So-
don't
Yeah.
think even that.
3 days.
So this is day 3, isn't it? Yes, so you think you've got a day and probably like half a day before you get there. So you could probably spend, you can say to Ruben, it's like, I've got all day tomorrow to do a bit of training with them.
Okay.
Which he's happy to do. Jiro, sort of while everyone's waits until there's a bit of a lull in conversation. Look, I know I shouldn't be asking questions, but at this point, after these things attacked my ship, I need to know what's going on. You don't need to tell me the details. I just need to know where
Me
we're going
too.
and why we're going. Do I need to be seriously worried for this ship?
Do I need to worry about my ale?
It's 50-50.
Well, I've heard worse.
Well,
I've heard worse odds for sure.
We are going there to stop a greater evil from ruining the land as you know it. Let's just leave it as that.
Great evil,
Well,
you say? Well,
Where are we going?
okay. Redford, Reuben, private quarters, if you don't mind. We'll bid you good night. And the three of them leave up to the private quarters.
Don't be too loud.
What did I miss?
Jiro and Reuben don't say anything, but Redford turns around just the last section and just goes,
Where are we going? Zoo is evil, and 50% chance of all the ale going away?
There's
Hey.
a chance of death and
Jim.
Small
Death
chance
and
of
despair.
survival, 50% chance of losing my ale. What are we waiting for?
why do
Go
I...
away! And I'll fall over.
So you spend the rest of the... Yeah, it was about midday, so if anybody's got anything that they would like to do at all today, do let me know. What guy, if you want to spend a bit of time with Reuben for the rest of the day, you'll probably have to wait a little bit, but he's willing to do a bit of teaching with you in the afternoon, if you'd like.
Cool.
Yep, okay. Anybody else got anything else that they would like to do?
I'm going to hang around with Watgar and practice as well, really, really badly.
Okay, fair enough. So the two of you, some point in the afternoon, Reuben comes down and sees Watgar, and then just sort of standing slightly to the side. Well, I suppose if you must insist on using them, at least we know you're going to be using them safely. And he takes you off to takes you under the ship, where it seems like he's in an area set out, and you see a small pile of these sort of small roundish rocks, which when you feel them, they're about the same weight as the actual bombs. And you spend the afternoon into evening just sort of practicing throwing them through.
What we've put in the proficiency down as.
You're not getting proficiency after half a day of learning.
Yeah, I'm
But
assuming that there's
it would be
quite a bit of training.
it'd be a dexterity. Well, it's a ranged weapon, so it would just be dexterity with what they called. It just says explosives expert is the skill. So whatever you want to call it, as long as you know what it is that you're doing them at.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, so you spend the time doing that. Anybody else got anything else they'd like to do?
Well, I'm going to do a short rest, as I've just spent the last few hours
Yeah.
kind of doing a spin of the ship, as I was making certain that there were no more wyverns or any other form of attack. Thanks. You're
Give me
welcome.
an investigation. Give me an investigation check, Kraylin, please. Okay. You notice that as you're sort of going around, you sort of check over to sort of this side where Redford and Jiro were working, and it looks like they have managed to patch up some of the holes that they had on the side of the ship where the Wyvern's claws had gone into, but it still looks like there's quite a bad looking sort of chip out of the one of the stones at the front of the ship. Yeah, which you're a little bit worried about, and when you get a moment, you mentioned.
Am I worried? Am I worried?
Well, I don't know. Are you worried about it? You know that the stones, there's one at the front and one at the back of the ship, and they're kind of the main force which keep the ship afloat. And she would have explained that, yeah, basically without those, the ship ain't flying.
Right, fair enough. No, I thought it was like, we're nowhere near water to take that in, so I didn't think any kind of breaks would be an issue.
Yes, as you're the very, very, very high up. At some point, the ship is sort of flown up slightly higher above the cloud cover.
It does seem that she's not that interested in the fact that we might not be up here for too long. I think she may have needed to have her extras go down and fix a little bit more on the side of the ship. Doesn't look in the best of health.
Are you just saying this to the group, or?
Yeah. No, that wasn't an internal monologue.
Fair enough. Cool. No worries.
I suppose if the ship goes down, we all go down with it. So I see what I can do. And
We are a cheery soul.
Yeah, if anybody has proficiency
cast this.
with mending, will certainly help. You sort of go down into the low portion of the ship, and you think that the crystal is kind of beyond your capabilities with the mending, but you're certainly able to patch up the rest of the holes with the where the Wyvern's claws were in. So like holding pieces of wood together, and they kind of merge back together. And it seems like you've. I mean, it doesn't look like they did a brilliant job, but you imagine that it's something that they will take a lot of time to slowly repair the ship. But it certainly has helped the integrity of the ship. The blue glow does rescind after the encounter. I can't remember exactly how long it. Is it an hour? Oh, it's for a minute. So yeah, it's literally after the encounter finishes. But yeah. So you.
What was the blue glow?
The blue glow. You can ask Jiro about it if you want, or you can go down and look around the ship and see if there's anything that you can work out via an Arcana check.
Sure, I'll do Arcana because I'm not going to kind of get involved with that.
Well, you can wait until she's become free if you want. But with 21, it seemed as sort of like looking back at the effects or as it happened, it seemed vaguely similar to sort of like either a mage armor type spell, similar to your sort of bark skin ability. It was a mild protective barrier that was to protect the ship from damage. Game terms, it gives the ship a damage threshold, and if damage is dealt to the ship below that threshold, it doesn't damage the ship, basically. But that's just a little bit of game thing for you. But yeah, you get the sense that's what that was. With the 21, actually, you are aware that there is a reasonable long recharge rate on that, but you think it'll probably be ready. If necessary, it will be ready after maybe a couple hours or so.
Well, I can always jump over again, I suppose.
So, Akima and Vac, is there anything you'd be doing at all today?
You go ahead.
I'm just gonna pat Kevin and say good job.
Kevin is, for a zombie. Well, you spent a bit of time with Kevin, so you sort of know what he's like, and yeah, he's quite proud of himself for a zombie.
It's kind of flexing once in a while.
You can give him a bit.
Eye out.
You can give him a bit of like cooked ham off the table.
A bit hammy. Sort of turns his nose up a little, turns up a little bit of his nose at it, as you know, the zombies, they don't really eat human food, but seems to maybe accept the gesture.
Turns his nose up, which promptly falls off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'll tell them to keep an eye out outside.
Okay. Sure. If you want to give me a perception check on behalf of those, and if you do one, and I'll give you advantage because there are 3 of them. If you put like one at the front and the side or something like that. Oh God!
Oh.
In zombie speech, you hear "Everything's fine, boss. Everything's fine."
No, just stick an eyeball back in.
In like Pirates of the Caribbean, where he's chasing his eye round.
Yeah. That's what happens at one point. Vac, anything or?
Vac will have tracked down Krylin eventually after he's done wandering and just asked him for help to try to remove the stinger from the tail, since he seems to be a nature-focused and the most helpful person to him so far. Can help make spear or thing stab. Krylin.
So,
What? Stabby stabs. Krylin?
Alright.
just go, yes.
Yes.
Vac's asking you for help with the tail to get the thingy out the stinger.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, well, you pull that way, and you're quite small, aren't you?
Size isn't everything.
That's right.
It is in some cases. So okay, well, you just stand back, and I'll deal with this.
Okay, Krylin, if you want to make me a straight dexterity check with advantage, as Vac is helping you out on this, and this is. You've got the tail. This is to, I'm assuming, take the bit that has like the poison sac and the injector, I suppose.
Yeah. Oh no.
With the I was going to say the 3, but you have the advantage, so it's slightly. You don't manage to get it out, but you don't manage to mangle it further.
Okay.
But I will say, if you try and do it again. There isn't a chance of advantage, and if you fail it, it is destroyed to not be usable.
Vac just like has his hands up there. Says, no, not me.
I'm sorry. I'm not really used to pulling creatures apart.
I'll try and help.
Okay, if you want to give me a dexterity check, then please. Just unskilled dex.
Demolishes it in front of you.
1, 2, 3.
Boom. There we go. 18. Seeing the 2 of you, just like step aside, rolls up her sleeves,
Pull my drink.
dives in, quick snip with a small pair of knives, and brings out the. I mean, it is intact, but after the effects of the witherings, after the effects of the blight, it certainly looks like it's slightly smaller than it was, and probably not as powerful. But yeah, you have a wyvern stinger and poison sac.
No.
There you go, Vax.
Fuck you! Vac just kind of like holds it up and just like does this with the spear thing, the pointy. He's just gonna call it.
Now you can flip like a butterfly and sting like a dragon.
Yes.
That's how the saying goes, isn't it? Yeah. Either Reuben or Redford, one of them, comes over to you and says, if there's a small ice box which they'll keep it in, which should be able to keep that on ice until, well, he says after maybe a day or two, it'll probably be pretty cold enough. And at that point, he does mention, did anybody bring anything warm with them?
Warm?
Yes, I've got a bear skin wrapped around me.
I got some really nice wine.
Well, that'll...
Very warm.
What? How warm do you mean?
Well,
I do have my bedroll for the night.
Well, we're going down to the south of the world into the icy wastelands of Islan. We have some fur coats for me, Giro and Redford, but we don't have anything for you guys. We thought you'd probably have that covered. I'm guessing by the stunned silence, you probably don't.
That's kind of covered in furs.
He's got his ale, and a good ale, and some wine, and a little bottle of something that smells really strong. It's very warm.
This bear skin that I have draped over me will keep me warm.
Dax, I believe you're fine because of your Goliath inheritance. I believe they're okay with cold. But yeah, what
Everybody else will fuck.
Gavak, Kraylin,
What guy is going to
Nakima.
muscle through it like always?
That flavor-wise has like hide over his armor, but I don't know if that's like going to help with the cold.
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Craps.
You're probably going to need some.
Maybe we can find a yeti or something and kill it and skin it for its hide. Or Kraylin if everything.
You're gonna skin Kraylin. He's
Get Kraylin to turn into a yeti, then skin it.
Oh, he is fur even now. So.
I could eat you.
I'd give you indigestion.
True,
Purposefully.
he probably would. Have you seen what he eats?
Realising that he sparked a little bit of a oh crap, we're not as prepared for an icy wasteland as we thought, Ruben sort of chuckles to himself and goes back off to whatever he was doing. So, if that's, unless anybody else has anything else they'd like to do, we
I
can
knew
go.
we should have checked where Eastland is on the map.
You would have known. And it was probably mentioned at least once or twice, the icy wastes
I
of
really
Eastland.
don't remember.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
So the icy wastelands.
Yeah.
Right. It's
So,
the icy wastelands, right? Point it is.
yeah. So, that's something to consider when you get to land. So, you
I
all,
really did.
yeah, you all find yourself...
I either didn't hear it or didn't acknowledge that I heard it.
Fair enough. Well, let's see what
I
happens.
don't know.
Yeah.
It was not on purpose. If I knew, I would have done something. Oh well, should happen.
Cool. So you set yourself down after a reasonable meal of sausages shaped into a seagull, and it's a wonderful little meal. And you wake up in the morning, bright and early and refreshed, as the result of a long rest. So you get all of your things back. Half of your hit dice, if you have used them. Kraylin, obviously, you used all of them, but it looked like.
Oh, no.
No? Oh, fair enough. Yes, you get half of them back. Okay,
So I
so
get 5 back for level... Oh wait, I'm level 10, aren't I?
level 10, so you get
Yes.
5 of them back.
I should really add level 10. Let me just see here. Where did I change it?
It's on the. It's not the. Which tab is it?
It's the class on the class tab.
Yeah, there's a little class tab, and if you change that to 10th level, and that'll adjust your proficiency, which is the main thing. If you just put that you have 10 hit dice of whatever, then it shouldn't make a difference.
Yeah. I forgot to do that.
I now have 7 hit dice left.
Nice.
I will be
I am at full health,
rejoining
level
Roll
5,
20
everything
in just
ready.
a second.
I even added new abilities.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah, guys, we haven't like rolled for health.
I think the
Yeah, I'm
average.
not sure.
Most people. It seemed like most people were just going to take the average.
Yeah.
What is rolling for health again?
Rolling for health, so it's your hit dice plus your constitution modifier, or you can take the average, which will be like half, plus your constitution modifier. So what's what druid is a D8, is it?
8.
So yeah, you take 5 plus your con mod, or you can roll and get higher.
No, it's 6 plus your con mod.
Is it?
No, it's
No,
5.
It's 5. Yeah.
I thought,
it's
yeah.
Mine's a D8.
I was going to say,
Divide it by 2 plus
I leveled up a druid yesterday.
No, I forgot because I'm a fighter. And
Yeah,
I
it's
have
fine.
it set, so I will
So yeah,
Very
it's up to you. I think everyone else had done. I think obviously it's just you, Kraylin. You might have been away when I said. So it's up to you. You can either roll a d8 and chance it, or you can take the average 5.
5 plus my constitution.
5
was it?
plus your constitution mod.
Sure, I'm going to take that because
Yep.
it gives me an even 100.
Nice.
Ding!
Ding ding ding.
How?
Because you're small.
Could we level up off camera? Just so we can get on with it.
Yeah, it was like I said. I mean, I mentioned obviously you weren't there, but I mentioned at the end of last session that it was meant to be before the start of this session, but the fight didn't quite finish, so it was going to be a case of make sure you know what you're doing, and then you can do health and things. But yes, so you are level 10 now. So The majority of the day, Kraylin, Watgar and Giles, you spend time with Ruben, practicing your throwing and trying to get proficient with the throwing bombs.
Cool.
It seems like you're starting to make a little bit of progress. I mean, you've thrown weapons before. Not Tam, because I'm seeing Tam. Giles, you're pretty okay with throwing things. Generally, anything you sort of pick up and throw, you're usually pretty good with. But the weight of these is not quite what you're used to. It seems like you're making progress. Ruben is as happy as he would be for people learning to throw something new. Does anybody
Adjusting
else?
Adjusting your strength. That's the key.
Yeah. So, does anybody? So, we need. Who's going to be taking watch for the day, or are you going to be playing shifts? And does anybody want? Does anybody want to do anything in particular during this day? You think you've got this day, and probably at the rate that you've been going, and you think you'll be there. You'll be at, I believe it's Landover, by the end of by like midday tomorrow-ish.
Yeah, I don't mind taking
Okay,
watch.
so if you want to give me a perception check, and see what you see. We'll say this. We'll say this is the morning. So we'll do one person for the morning, one person for the afternoon. It's fairly quiet. You're definitely noticing a slight drop. Well, you're not necessarily noticing a drop in temperature, but as you sort of like look around over everybody else, those that aren't maybe as accustomed to the cold, you certainly notice that Ruben, Redford, and Giro have pulled on their woolly-looking coats, which they had stashed in a crate underneath in the hold. But it certainly looks like it is starting to get cold.
Getting a bit chilly, are we?
Hey. Getting cold out here.
It's alright, dwarf. You'll live up to it. I'm sure it's nothing compared to what the coldness of your minds have to offer.
I'll have you know I have quite a warm mind.
And generally, mines are kind of, as you start to get lower in mines, they can be kind of warm as they start to get deeper. But yeah, other than that, you don't notice anything. You don't see any wyverns or anything approaching. And you can't really see any landmass either. It seems like the clouds have just whenever you sort of think it's like I'm going to look out see if I see anything, there just seems to be sort of cloud cover that you can't quite pierce through. But it seems particularly quiet. There's no wyverns, which is the important thing. You also hear a little bit of tinkering coming from the captain's quarters, like the clanging of tools and things of that sort of nature. Coming from the captain's quarters. Okay, and we'll go into the afternoon. So who's going to be watching out for the afternoon?
Oh, I'm practicing, so I don't think I have time.
Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, Vac, Kraylin, or Akima. Or two of you can, if you've got nothing else to do, you can just literally spend the time watching out for things.
Yeah.
In which case, whoever has the highest perception roll.
I don't think it's Vac.
I imagine it's Kraylin because you've got wisdom.
Yeah, probably.
So Kraylin, if you want to make a perception check with advantage, as the three of them are checking. 19. You do start to see landmass approaching just to the let me see, if your north is that way, you're sort of headed east, so it's just sort of southeast. You're seeing the white landmass of Eastland starting to approach to you. Very featureless. You're seeing a few craggy mountains, cracks in the lands of some sort of glacial rift of some sort. You are seeing a few small, like pinpricks of something moving around. You imagine it's some sort of indigenous life, but obviously, where you are, it's like nigh impossible to see what's going on. Though it does seem you have made a little bit of progress, quite fast, quite quicker.
Land ho off the starboard!
I.e., you will be landing at night time. You think?
Oh my God, they look like ants down there.
yeah, you see a small, what you assume is a herd of maybe like five or six creatures of some sort, but they literally just look like dots from where you are.
Oh wait, those are ants. Captain, you got a bit of an infestation here. Oh look, there's also creatures down there. They're very tiny.
Right. So, as you're all just sort of going about your activities, keeping watch, let me see. Akima, at about, let's say, sort of mid-afternoon, getting into the evening, you set yourself out for a little watch to see what you can see, and it does sound like the land is certainly starting to get closer. Give me a perception check. You notice coming out of the sort of the small herd of things. So you sort of focus on this herd of like black dots that you see. Coming from, almost appearing from like nowhere, you see 1, 3, 4 similar sized looking sort of dots, sort of appearing around the outside of where this herd of whatever it is. You notice that as they start to sort of converge and get closer, the smaller black things start to move further away. Give me a history check.
Ooh.
Sheepdogs and sheep.
Similar, but we'll see. Knowing the things that you know about the cold, uncaring, unfeeling wastelands of Islan, there are giants there. And you think what you see are possibly giants on some sort of hunting excursion. Hunting of what, you're not 100% sure, but it definitely looks like they are in some sort of hunting pattern. A few minutes. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Guys, I think I see some giants. Anyone?
Sure. We go on here, and I'll point at Dax.
Bloody hell, both.
I am only 8.5 feet tall.
Oh, that's really like
On the ship, yeah.
this big. So
Not
you
the
is
ship,
a big
down
giant.
on the ground.
Just kind of looks up at Dax and is like, "Can giants fly?"
No.
Oh.
You've never heard.
I think
Really high.
I think we've already.
You think you've
determined
seen
this.
about everything when you see a giant fly. Sings a crow as it flies across.
It's the bird, it's the plane. No, it's a giant.
It's a very obscure Disney reference there. I'm there, guys, see about it. Yeah, let's not do that. Akima, as you sort of inform the group and you look back, and you notice that the group of them have kind of peeled away from the rest of the group, but there's one which does seem to be sort of stood to the side, like away from the rest of the group, unmoving, where the rest of them are moving away.
So how
They seem
like
to be doing something.
how high are we to them?
Oh, you're hundreds and hundreds of feet up in the sky.
So it's not like I could jump up and land on it.
If you jumped off right now, you would land in sea. It seems like you're looking on some sort of pack of some things that these giants have probably found quite close to the coastline. But yeah, it looks like the pack of creatures have been sort of herded off and almost been chased by the looks of it by like 4 of these other, what you assume are probably giants, but off to the side, like a considerable distance away from where they were. It looks like one is just stood, waiting, unmoving.
Is there
Seems to
any
be
way
doing
that?
something.
Is there any way we can lower this ship down and maybe?
The ship has been slowly getting lower, but you can suggest to fly slightly lower if you want.
Can we go lower, please? I want to see what's going on.
Don't wanna
Sure, whatever
I think we
you
should
say.
be careful. Those Those fuckers are strong.
And,
I can speak giant. Let me speak to them.
And yeah, as you instruct, Jiro shouts back, "Yeah, sure, whatever you say." And you can feel the ship start to move away. And as the ship starts to descend slightly, you see this black dot peter away. It's blank. Nothing. It seems to disappear into whiteness. There is no sight of them.
Bloody hell.
The ship's continuing to sort of slowly get down. We should be there. We should be at Landover within probably the evening. Should probably take us a bit away. She pulls out a map, and it looks like from where you are is maybe it's quite a distance away from where you know Landover to be. You've still got a distance to travel before you actually hit the settlement of Landover. But you are aware of what you assume are probably giants, which maybe they're aware of your presence, maybe they're not. What is your next course of action? As Jiro is just sort of waiting, it's like, are we going down for any particular reason? Or are we maintaining course?
Maintain course for now.
Let's keep an eye out.
Just keep an eye out for movement on the ground below.
Very well, very well. Whatever you say, just let me know if there's going to be any wyverns around. There's no weapons on board this ship, and I think we need to change that, Redford. Yeah, so the ship, staying at sort of like the height it was at, continues on going down, and it gets into just sort of like sundown, and you are seeing the outlines of the town of Landover, coming out of the horizon there. As you start to, yep. Sorry,
I was going to say that whenever Vax sees it, he's going to use his primeval awareness again to see if he can sense any humanoids. And I think I decided on was it hobgoblins? What was Snickrot?
Snickrot was a hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin.
I believe they're the same class.
Are they still humanoids?
As I think they are humanoids. Yeah.
They're goblinoids. All of them are
goblinoids.
goblinoids.
Yeah, because I think.
But are they not technically humanoids?
Let me just.
Goblinoids are humanoids. It's just that.
Yeah,
the differences are if you're gonna go with
hobgoblin, medium humanoid in brackets, goblinoid. So it would count if you're searching for humanoids.
It's sort of like undead are goblinoids, like just sort of a subgroup of humanoids.
They're humanoids, but it's like
it's usually the best one to pick because it actually gives you more creatures.
Yeah,
because you have goblins, hobgoblins, and bugbears. So goblinoids are the best.
Yeah, as you set your primeval awareness, peering out, and you're not seeing anything. You are a little bit closer to the shoreline, so you think that you maybe get a little bit of the area of like the shoreline, but you're not hearing, you're not getting the sense of anything there. You're still a little bit too far away from from Landover to hear anything, to pick up on anything. Sorry.
Okay.
The ship carries on going. And as you start to get closer to Landover, Jiro comes to the front of the ship, sort of pushes Vac and I can't remember what your dog's name is. Zeshkal. It's so because I keep getting confused. No. Sort of pushes to the side and pulls out a spyglass from her belt, extends it out and peers down it. This can't be right. This has got to be an illusion. And she hands the spyglass to you, Vac. Just look out and see what you see.
What does my
peering out across what do I see? Peering out, you expecting to see it's an icy wasteland, so there's not going to be too much. But what you see as you look across are burned out buildings, roofs ripped off of buildings. Some buildings which Like, you can see foundations sticking up out of the sky, buildings which look like they've just been completely obliterated. You're not seeing any movement. You're seeing small fires, which seem to be just sort of clinging and licking away to certain buildings. It is a scene of devastation.
Oh god.
Complete and utter devastation. Give me an investigation check, Vac.
Okay.
24. Looking at what...
No, is it daylight? Oh, it's investigation. It's fine. Sorry.
It's still
Perception for daylight.
still 23. It's 23.
Oh, yeah, so
it's
it's
still
even
pretty
too
high.
Never mind.
You looking at the devastation that you see across there, looking at things you know that exist or are, well, that you thought were sleeping below Islan. You're seeing long trails where the snow seems to be sort of banked up to the side, and you can almost see portions where the stone floor, the snow is away from the stone This looks very much like dragonfire. Huge sort of streams of what you assume is probably dragonfire stretching across the land, reaching through buildings, just carving these various paths. The carnage that you're seeing around the areas where you're not seeing these paths with what were probably fire, you think that's probably the giant's work.
Vaca just kind of drops the spyglass and goes, turns to the rest of the group and just starts pointing towards.
Was that a yay or a cry? I'm not sure.
Just the high-pitched whine.
Yeah.
Can you see any bodies?
Next to him, I seeing him do that, I pick up the spyglass that he's just dropped. And
yeah, very much the same view. It just looks demolished.
This is not good. There's what looks like the remains of towns that have been burned from dragons.
Oh, kind of expecting dragon here, considering we are looking for one.
Dragons?
We were gonna stop it from being revived.
Well,
Yeah,
It's up. It's
looks
not
like
done.
that's all right.
Looks like we're gonna need a bigger boat.
Jiro turns to the rest of the group. Does someone mind telling me what the hell's going on?
Kill dragons.
Couple of days ago, Landover was fine, and now look at the place. Complete ruin. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't turn this ship around, save myself.
Dragons. You might find dragons over there. We can
Making name out of himself for helping us. Go down in history.
If you don't take us to this island to deal with the enemies that are down there, turning this ship around will not save you. You will not have a home to go
We'll
to.
brand you as a coward.
You owe the Duke.
Kralen's words are the ones that strike true. I'm staying on the ship. We'll get down there. I'll take you down safely. But we're staying here. If there's any chance of any dragons or whatever it is that destroyed this town, we aren't getting closer. We're not fighters. We can swing a sword now and again. We have a few of these bombs that we make, but nothing's going to take. We haven't got the strength to take on a dragon. And if I were you, I wouldn't even go there myself. The only reason I'm doing this is to clear my name.
Yes, it's become quite clear that you're not another fighter.
You underestimate our powers.
Vac flexes.
Maybe I do, maybe I don't.
Very awkwardly in tiny arms.
Over my years of much training and deliberation, I have my god Felor on my side. And he will guide us through this battle and see our safe return.
The gods? You speak of the gods? Yes, he did say deliberation. I did hear that. The gods? Look at that! Look at that town. Does it look like the gods saved them?
I can make use of the people down there.
We are not turning an entire town into undead zombies, Akima.
We need an army.
It would help.
Hey,
We
no,
need
they're
to
already anyway.
Summon my
Might as well.
god and resurrect them as their true beings to fight alongside us.
We need the magic that restored the land within the forest that we once walked.
Yes. But do you know it? He's...
No, but they do.
All I know is that we're staying clear of anything. We get even the slightest hint of giants or dragons, we're not getting involved. She
You'll be fine.
continues piloting the ship down. Couple of hours pass, and you end up getting to what looks like the structure of one of the airships that you saw in Stragos, but now is just crumbling down. Half of it is standing up, the other half looks like it's fallen down on top of a couple of small buildings, small shacks. She goes down into the cargo and pulls out a couple of rope ladders. She says that you can let yourself down on here, and we'll find somewhere to moor up. We can stay here for 3 days maximum. If you're not back in 3 days, we're gone.
Sure, sounds fair. Where's the ladder?
I'll lean over the side and just fall.
Okay, I will assume that you are monkey enough to catch the bottom rung of the ladder as you stumble over.
No, it just goes. Plump.
Right, fair enough then. Okay, you suffer. Oh no, you don't, because you've got monk fall, haven't you? So yeah, you just slowly fall down. Yep, never mind.
No, he just goes. It just looks as if he's just flopped off and gone.
Yeah.
Ow.
So the rest of you descend down. It
Yeah.
seems that
Just before we go down, even if we do not make it back in 3 days, I will reach out to you to come get us.
Ow.
well, how will we know where you are? It's a wasteland out there. It's always changing, always moving.
I have a way of communicating.
Work your magic, Goliath. We'll wait here. She lets you off. Do you all descend? Oh, before you go, actually, Watgar, Reuben comes over to you and hands you another sticky bomb.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're not proficient with them just yet, but
I'm not. Aww.
no, I spent two days practicing with a weapon. Not even that. A day and a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, hands those off. You slowly work your way down towards the floor. Giles' legs just sort of dangling up out of the snow. You see the sky treader just sort of floats off slightly. What would you like to do? You are on the outskirts of town, looking at a destroyed town.
I grab Giles' legs and picks him up.
Thank you. So where's my ale? And I'll scrabble around in the snow and pick up my mug.
Friend, I do believe that you may have a problem.
No problem, it's all good. Why, Sam?
No, I'm okay. It's quite early in the morning.
This way, be dragons! And I'll stumble in the direction of the town.
Okay. You start. Does everyone follow?
Someone should keep this drunken idiot safe.
Okay. You start.
That dwarf.
Am I the only one who has a feeling this is going to be harder than it looks?
Okay.
So you
Is that
start
the cold getting
making
to
your way
you?
into town.
Yes.
So what's
Making our way downtown.
We perhaps
Oh,
start it
Vac,
right
before we
go in?
do, Vac is gonna pull everyone together like, hark, close, hark! And he's gonna cast
Hug.
Pass Without a Trace.
Okay.
So that is...
We all get
plus 10, plus 10 to
Then
your
I
stealth
believe,
checks.
yeah.
Yeah.
Does
Sweet.
this add? Does it stack?
No.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't stack.
Damn.
I can't pass. I can't.
You can't have a party of 6 rangers all casting Pass Without Trace to get a plus
Become
100.
invisible.
Yeah.
Just vanish from
Yeah.
existence.
Okay, so you have Pass Without Trace active. Are you all moving quietly then, I assume?
Sure.
I hope
Cool.
so.
So,
I'll be staggering quietly.
stealth checks from everybody then, please. And add a plus 10 to your checks.
Even the zombies.
Yes, even the
Yeah, I
zombies.
thought it
I
was.
do have a... hold on, if I just... if I do that, is that everybody? And I'll drag you over, because we have a new sheet.
I have a wonderful ability. I've rolled 5 doubles.
Alright.
That's plus 10, by the way. That's already in the
Oh, we've already got the plus 10. I didn't put my
Yeah.
plus 10s in yet.
I didn't put plus 10
I
in,
didn't
so
plus
I
10
got
on mine.
Wow.
23 and 25.
Ooh, I'm missing it.
38.
That's with a minus one.
So I got
Minus-
23.
I have disadvantage and,
You do,
and plus
yeah.
1, but I still
I have
16
disadvantage because I have chainmail exactly like you.
Chainmail, motherfucker! Okay, I'm just dragging you over. There we go.
We're gonna pull the chasm!
I'm in the ravine.
I've just realised that that's a train line across that chasm. I thought that was a broken tree or a branch or
Oh.
something. No, that's a
We'll save
train
later.
line.
No, it's a broken tree.
It's a broken tree, definitely. Okay, so let's see. So we got.
Is that from the film Snowpiercer?
I've no idea where it's from. I just typed in icy wasteland. Okay, 24, 16. Yeah, generally you are all pretty quiet and stealthy. Those that are a little bit slightly louder with their steps, the rest of you, who with slightly higher checks, manage to kind of make a sort of disguise the sounds that you're making as you go through. You start making your way. Do you want to go in? Are you going into the town, or are you sort of like walking around the outside?
I'm making my way downtown.
You're going inside the actual town itself.
Sure can.
Okay, yeah. You start making your way through down into the town. And yeah, you're faced with now the realization of the destruction and carnage. You are seeing bodies sort of left, right, and centre in various states of well, they are in pieces. There are they look bloody and beaten. Burns. Everyone seems to have some sort of burn about them. You do see actually the body as you get a little bit closer to the centre of town. You do actually see the body of one giant who looks like he was probably caught in the blast, caught in one of the flames.
Investigate, like the body.
Yeah, sure. Give me an investigation.
Terrible at this.
A 9. This is a dead giant. Probably fire killed it. Probably. It does appear to be armed. And for size wise, these particular giants are well. The one that you're looking at is about 20 feet tall, sort of like from head to toe.
What color is it?
It has an icy blue kind of colour. Easy enough
Nice
to
charcoal.
easy enough to recognise. Well, yeah, this one is black, but you can see portions of the skin which are sort of like an icy blue, slightly grey in places. Easy enough to work out. You've all heard the stories of giant men who roam the mountain tops and the icy places of the world, frost giants. Yeah, this one, it's about 20 feet tall. It does appear to be armed with a very, very large, what looks like a bow. It has a bow which looks to be probably about 15 feet-ish in length, sort of like from top to bottom. And against its leg there seems to be some sort of quiver with a series of arrows which as well look very, very large.
Can I try and pick the bow up?
You can. It's very heavy and certainly not wieldable. Giants are...
What if we all work together to fire one arrow?
If you all worked together... Yeah, sure, you can all work together to operate one... I shouldn't be saying this, should I? I should not be saying that a pie can operate a single giant's bow. But no, giants are huge creatures that you are not able to use this. Though it looks like, I mean, you sort of take out one of the arrows and look at it. It's, I mean, even in your hands, it's quite like a handful to hold. You do not want to be hit by any of these. But yeah, as far as you can tell, this one must have just been caught in the flames at some point during the raid, or whatever has happened to this town.
There was a fight here.
Yeah. Can you what? Sorry, is that Kima?
Can I animate the giant?
You think you can animate the giant, but it would take considerable... You think you might need to spend a bit of time with it. Also, you probably wouldn't be able to keep control over the three you have.
Guys, are we in a rush?
No, how important is the world's safety to you? I don't...
Well, we could have my 3 zombies plus the giant, or not have the giant.
Are you sure you can control that thing?
I'm pretty certain.
I like
Do you
also
have like
go
an
to
insight check into that? Because like that seems...
Sure, give me an insight check. Akima, if you're trying to... You think that you would, given a bit of time and effort, you might be able to attempt it.
I wholeheartedly believe whatever she says.
Yeah. She can raise an army of giants given enough time.
Oh, I could animate a few more corpses.
Or yeah, there are plenty of bodies around which you can use.
Well,
given
just
time going along each one.
Going on what we can see here, obviously the dragon is not on the same side as these giants, nor these people that it is burned to death. So rather than making enemies with giants as well, we should maybe just go look for the dragon.
During this, Vac is going to try and use Natural Explorer for while tracking other creatures. You can also learn their exact number, their size, and how long ago they passed through the area. So just to see if he's able to find any tracks of anything, like the orcs or the dragon.
Yeah, going around. So you get tape measure out and hold it up against the giant's foot, and scout around the immediate area where you are. You get a sense that there were roughly between 6 and 7 giants which came through the area, and it seems like it was quite a while ago. The footprints don't seem to be too... certainly within the day.
Maybe
says that 6 or 7, not recent, not today.
Maybe we should follow them before the next storm comes in.
And just read me back your Natural Explorer again, just in case.
Oh,
What you thought,
I'll
just-
just give you.
Yeah.
That's one portion of it.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you know that there were about 6 or 7 giants, and they passed through the area within the day, but certainly at least a couple of hours before you got here.
Okay. I'll relay
Isn't
that.
isn't that only in favoured terrain though? Isn't that?
Is it?
I don't know.
It doesn't say anything about favoured for natural in my notes.
No, I might be wrong then.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Maybe the.
But yeah, just double check just in
remastered
case.
version. Yeah.
It might be a thing.
Rituals don't use up a spell slot, do they?
No, they don't. They just
Yeah,
cast. They
no.
just Is it add 10 minutes at a time, or is it double the time?
I think
Just
it's an
10 minutes,
hour
Dad.
of casting or something like that, but 10
Yeah.
minutes of casting something.
But yeah, it
You have
doesn't,
to take
doesn't
your
use a
time to
spell
cast,
slot.
that's the point. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to commune with nature. Just
Yeah.
quickly, Chibi, do you know? Is it favoured terrain only, or...?
It looks like
I'm-
on Earth Arcana one doesn't have favorite terrain at all. It just has favorite enemy.
Fair enough then. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Fair enough, sorry, my bad.
yeah, that's all
Oh,
right.
you're okay.
Yeah. So
There's
you.
been like 3 different versions of the Ranger. You don't even know what to look at anymore.
We're gonna have the next expansion to D&D is just the Ranger edition. It's just like 10,
Yeah.
20 versions of Ranger.
Seriously.
Yeah, so that's what you find out. Communion with nature. So, what knowledge of the land within 3 miles of you?
Basically, I just want to check if there's been any damage to the land in any way, like a path that's been led through the land itself.
You get the sense that the giants certainly not necessarily like broke up the land as they were travelling, but certainly left their mark as they were travelling through the nature. And you get a feeling that they came from the. If you were sort of like looking north, I'll tell you what. If I just get the world map out, that'll give me a better idea because that's where I marked these things. So yeah, if you get up the world map, I'm not going to do that for the thing. Where would it be? So north, it's there. What's that? Southwesterly direction. There seems to be a very much like a pathway of where the land has been disturbed by their progress. Well, you get the sense that something has disturbed the land through there, with Vax saying that there were giants. Together you figure out the giants came from this direction.
One of the other things I'd like to check then is if there are many trees within this land.
There'll be a handful of dead ones, but there aren't many trees in this particular area that survived the wastes.
Ooh,
The terrain that you know that you get from this area, it's very much like mountainous regions, and then just like vast plains of snow, ice, that kind of thing.
Does tree stride require a living tree?
I believe it would do. Just obviously I'll have to just double check that, or if you check it, yeah.
That's just
It'd be within another tree of the same kind within 500 feet. So you could go into one of the dead trees.
Both trees must be living.
Yeah. Trees must be living in the same
I
size.
don't mean to cause problems, but for the less inclined of you that aren't accustomed to this cold, maybe we should make shelter because some of you will start suffering.
Hey, agreed. Does anybody know how to make a shelter?
It's like this.
Yeah. You notice that there is a little bit of snowfall, and yeah, for the words, there is a small section underneath his hands which is sheltered. Strange logic works. There are plenty of buildings that have been burned out and in various states of destroyed, which you could spend a bit of time putting together in some sort of shelter, if you want.
Can I take the clothes off people to make a cloak?
Sure. Give me a as you're not particularly well versed in the cloak making.
Yeah.
So what would this be?
Tailoring. So it's either I would say wisdom.
The dead giant we found, what was it wearing?
Like patchwork armor. It seemed to be.
Okay, cool. I'll
yeah,
just go
didn't
and
seem
grab
to be
a
wearing
big lump of wood of some form off one of the buildings or off a tree or whatever's nearby, and just like prop up part of its armor on one side and go and sit under it and go, shelter, is there all hell?
Yeah. There's not a lot of room for everybody else, but he has a shelter.
I'm surprised. Like the giant's probably warm from it being burnt as well. So.
Make me a
How long was the displays burnt anyway?
This is bad.
say that.
Or
There still seems to be a few fires licking, but very only small. Yeah.
Isn't this the middle of the night?
It's certainly at evening. Yeah. That'll be a survival.
Survival.
Yeah. This is taking things that are around you.
No.
As Akima is bumbling around,
What you with the one, it's
she doesn't roll a one. I use my halfling luck.
Yeah, so you get the 16. Yeah, they're not super well fitting or anything, but you spend a bit of time sort of ripping through some to make armholes for the slightly bigger people. You think that they will probably do a reasonable job. Yeah. There you go.
Where's reading spell? Let me just find. Where the hell is it?
And while Akeem is doing that,
Yep.
Vac will have kind of snuck off to try to like just look at anything was salvageable in the area or like in the houses, like if anything stands out, as well as having Zeshkul keep like a nose out for like anything weird or smelly.
Okay, if you want to give me an investigation check then, as you're sort of going around. And you've got Zeshkul with you, so I'll give you just, this isn't at advantage or disadvantage.
Okey-doke.
10. Yeah, you find a few sort of clothes and garments which seemed to which you think you send over to Akima and point them out. It's like these are probably quite good, but the majority of things you're not really finding anything of note. A lot of the things seem to be broken, burnt, frozen in places. Yeah, it's just bits of lumber, stones, tiles. Shreds of fabric, very little of note. You are seeing a lot of Goliath giant footprints around. You think they've probably made a pass through the town and gotten anything of note.
Okay.
I think we should. I think we should head down to one of the basements if they're still standing. I think that'll probably be the best shelter we can find.
It's a good idea. We could look for one.
I'll look over here and sort of head in the direction of one of the houses.
Yeah, it's fairly easy. A lot of these, being in this sort of region, a lot of them do tend to have like slightly lower than ground level basements and things, so it's fairly easy to come across one. Yeah, the top level of the house is just destroyed completely. It's just like the buildings from Fallout. They're just struts of foundations, sections of walls that just seem to be half standing. But the basement seems to be intact. You'd probably have to construct a bit of a door with a couple of the bits and pieces, but it looks like it would be certainly warmer than just staying outside.
I think we should stay here for at least for the foreseeable future.
Could make
or
it
just
warm.
Start constructing the door and just so it's nice and warm. Maybe something for the chimney. So
so you can have like a little bit of a fire, so you don't kill yourselves.
Yeah.
On the fumes. Yeah, sure.
Well, I'll go round other houses and see if I can gather bits of wood from broken doors and whatever I can find to make a fire and
I go off wandering around because obviously I'm like, this is not that cold.
Yeah,
I don't know what the fuss is.
That's true. Dax, as your no, actually, no, it wouldn't. Never mind that. Never mind. You successfully managed to go around collecting up. Sort of with Akima and Vac, you managed to collectively put together some rags and things. You look at them and they're not particularly well put together or anything, but they certainly like that. They'd keep the majority of the chill off. But yeah, just sort of going around town, you're seeing the bodies of people who look like they were like halfway through escaping from the towns, and just like bodies and skeletons just kind of clawing their way away from buildings. Just look like they were just immediately incinerated.
Vac, did Naraman give you that hole thing?
I've got the hole.
Oh, you've got the hole. Oh, maybe we could have used it to gather some wood. Or we can use it to gather some wood.
The town itself isn't particularly big. It's not going to take you too long to walk around it. It's very much like those sort of like those towns that you see on TV and those like Channel 5 like ice road truckers. They go to these villages and there's like 2 huts or something. It's not a massive settlement.
How many bodies can we see?
As you're going around, you get the sense that there are about 30 to 40 bodies. Some of them are in pieces. You're seeing bodies which look like, as you go across, you see one which looks like, it was literally just torn in two at the waist. You see a pair of legs and a top half. But yeah, there's about 30.
Half of a person.
Using the animate dead, you can kind of put them together, and the animate kind of rejigs it together.
I was more just imagining you just have a pair of legs running around and a torso with a pair of arms.
Arms on it.
Unless you would specific.
Oh
You can have it.
Yeah, just a hand. Yeah, you
I love
can.
the idea that just drafting more arms on, so it's just like the thing from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so there's about 30 bodies, and it seems that the majority of them do seem to be like burnt out skeletons. The rest of them, so you get, let's say there's about 20 or so skeletons and about 10 or so I'm not going to say fleshy bodies because they've been out in the snow for a while now, but yeah, there's about 10.
A bit juicier than the bones.
Yeah, 10 corpses
Get more meat to them.
also.
Zombie clones.
But yeah, it certainly seems that there weren't too many people here, and they're just... everyone is dead.
I'm dead. We're all dead, babe.
Yep.
Actually, since Akeem is going to be doing that, Vac will sit down next year and see if he can sense any humanoids within 5 miles that aren't us. To see if there's maybe anybody that's hiding anywhere in the town.
There isn't.
There isn't? Damn
It's vacant. Except for you guys.
Everyone's dead.
Everyone.
Yes.
I'm going to shapeshift into some form of bird, eagle,
Yeah,
whatever
sure.
it takes. I take it it's pretty dark at the minute.
Yeah, it's certainly starting to get dark now.
Okay, so I take it those like eagle and such has extra perception in dark, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm sure there are birds with dark vision.
Does the owl?
Owls have dark vision, yeah.
So I'm basically just gonna fly up and I'm gonna scout around for any lights, any visible fires within a few miles, that kind of thing. Smoke.
Yeah. As you start to fly up into the air, you're not seeing anything within the immediate vicinity. As you sort of look in the direction, the path was. What is it? Path where where you think the giants came from. You can sort of see that sort of peter out into the. Well, it's almost just like into the whiteness. It seems like sort of a couple of miles out from where you are, and it's just like a windy storm. You can't really see anything. It's just white noise.
Okay, so I'm going to turn back into a giant big blue thing and come back down to the others and say, I think we're okay for tonight. We do seem to be undercover, and I can't spot anything out there. But I think it's probably best that we do stay inside, just in case they decide to send a scout.
Okay, so we're resting now, right? It's dark. I've got a nice comfy spot for me and my ale.
Okay. Yeah, you all come over, and there's it seems Watgar's been sort of like purposely getting inside this basement, building a sort of a door with a very rudimentary sort of locking system, a small little pile of food and water. For you, it's certainly not the sort of food that you're usually seeing. This amount of death like in front of your eyes, it's kind of heartbreaking for you, and you're not quite able to focus as well as you normally would do. But there's a reasonable amount of food there for you.
Okay, so I'm going to pop up a little fire there as well.
Yeah, sure. You got your produced flame, is it?
I do.
Cool. Yeah. So you
Getting all
start
hot in
up
here.
a small fire, and it does. You certainly start to feel the chill start to wear off slightly. Almost like you've just got your own little pocket world where the fire is. It's warm. It is inviting, and you all just get a nice sleep as best you can, or is there anything anybody else would like to do?
Vac will take watch up the top, just to
Yep.
be sure.
Cool.
I mean,
are
you
you,
just
are you
kind
taking
of-
with, are you taking with
Yeah.
Eshkol as well, or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
people to smell anything that comes a bit too close if he doesn't notice anything.
Yeah, sounds
And
good.
keep you warm.
I'll take
Yeah,
a
I'm
watch
gonna
as
hug
well
him.
at some point.
Okay,
Okey-dokey.
so Vac, if you want to give me a perception check as you take the first watch.
Whip. Oof.
Oh,
It's
Dark.
it's dark. It's quiet. It's very windy. You're as you're sort of peering out, you're seeing sort of small piles of snow just sort of slightly build up and then break down as the winds just buffer around you. You're having to pull like your jerkins and things to get just keep as warm as you can.
Just hugging Zeska.
And even
Giles is just like sprawled on the floor in the basement, mug in one hand, barrel in the other, just no covers, no nothing, just sort of laid there snoring quietly.
so it
Snoring
comes.
and quietly don't go in the same sentence.
No, it's only small, so you just get.
It's a quiet snore.
No high-pitched snore.
So Vac, it comes to the end of your watch. It's been quiet. There's nothing that's piqued your interest.
Okey-dokey. Vac will blink down next to Dax. I'm assuming it's like within 30, 40 feet, just like,
Yeah. Oh God.
and just the dog will start looking away at his face. Dax, wake up!
What?
It's your watch. Go look outside.
It's alright, alright.
Nothing, it's dark and scary.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be alright.
With that.
Cold. And sort of rubs his arms. Cold. And he curls into a ball.
Flump. Okay, Dax. So
Okay.
perception check for watch, or is there anything you're wanting to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep a lookout. But is there like, with the storm, do I sense, is it like a natural storm, or is this like a magical
Give me a nature check.
nature? Oh, terrible.
Yeah, this does feel like a natural storm.
Okay.
Yeah, it does seem like just the wasteland is just constantly roiling with winds and blizzards at most times.
Okie dokie. So I'm going to do a perception check.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, if you want to give me a perception check. 17. You not having to worry too much about the cold as well. I mean, even to you, it's still a little bit on the chilly side, but it's certainly not affecting you as much as everybody else has been doing.
Pull the bearskin a bit tight around me.
You see about 10 feet, let's say about 30 feet ahead of you, just a very faint, shimmering, warmish, yellowish looking light. So almost, there is, like, the storm is sort of all around you. It just seems like just sort of beyond this storm, you can just see this sort of, like, golden, shimmering light. You think you vaguely make out the figure of a person. Though immediately you're not hit by the sense of this is somebody who is out to hurt me.
Seeing this, I sort of just step out of the building we're in, like the rubble, out onto like the street.
Yeah.
And I go,
Who goes there?
Dax, my child. Is that you?
How do you know my name? Who are you?
Stepping forth from the, you see the light starts to get slightly brighter and glimmer, and in a way you kind of have to sort of like squint your eyes just so that it is quite bright. Stepping forward, you see a man in a sandy-coloured robe, a mace hanging from the belt, a staff with a round-looking sun on the top of the staff. Looking up, this is an oldish-looking man with a long white beard, long white hair, a headband with once again a sun emblazoned on the middle of this headband. This is some sort of envision of your god.
I realizing what I believe it is. I drop down to my knees in respect for.
Fellow, what brings you here? Why do you choose to show yourself to me, just a Goliath, no one?
You are not no one, Dax, my child. And he puts his hand underneath your chin and just sort of lifts you up slowly, and you feel yourself getting back up onto your feet. You may mean more than you could know. Immense death has been wrought upon this place. My heart weeps for the souls that have been lost. I urge you, save them. Find the evil that has reached so much vengeance here. Make it right again, Dax.
The death, it upsets me as well. I will do my best to right the wrongs what have been done here. But I may not be able to do it myself. I may need to call upon you.
You are strong enough, Dax. You have shown that your powers of healing are well placed, whether they are strong or not. Your meaning is true. You wish no harm upon your friends. And he holds his hand out in front of you. Take my hand, child.
I put my hand out and
clasp his other hand over the top, and you're just filled with this warmth which just emanates. It seems like it just pours out from his hand inside yours and travels up your arm into your heart, into your head, filling your body with just this radiant warmth. Should you need me, should you need my intervention in this, I'll do as much as I can. I sense there is a great evil here at work, something that may particularly come for you, but I hope it does not come to that. What it is, I cannot say. Just be on your guard. And with that, he bends down and kisses you gently on the forehead, and disappears backwards into the wind, the golden light shimmering and shrinking down. You look down and realize you wet yourself in excitement.
That warm feeling was me pissing myself.
But yeah, the rest of the night is quiet. You seem so distracted that the god Paylor took his time to speak to you specifically, and you take time to think what exactly that could mean for you. Spooky.
Just sort of almost just dumbfounded, just by my god showing himself to me, and it's just I just sit just on the edge of the rubble, just going over everything I've done in my past and what's led me to here, and trying to put two and two together, and it's just why?
Fangirling a little bit.
Yeah.
Who knows? So it comes to the end of your watch. Who are you going to wake up next?
I probably over the sheer I probably don't. I'll just sit there.
Yeah, you stay up.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. If you want to give me another perception check with disadvantage, though, at this point, you are starting to get a little bit tired now. Quiet. Rustling wind. The faint glow is still sort of seems to be inside you, and that's sort of keeping you warm out here in the wind, which does feel like it's almost just trying to bite into you close, it whipping around under your hands, into your fingers, trying to sort of open you up to this cold. But it's a horrible place to be. But luckily, it doesn't seem like there's anything which coming across in your direction. It's starting to come up into morning time. all
I think it is.
slowly come to.
Hmm.
In the morning, they're extremely cold, but the chill kept off by the rags that Akima provided.
I'm still sat outside, just like contemplating, like, why? It's like if you come out, I'm just mumbling to myself. Why did he show himself to me? I don't realise what I've done. Why? I just
Flashing him.
What was that? Sorry.
Was someone flashing at him?
who knows?
Are you okay, big fella?
No, I don't know. Last night when I was on watch, I don't know if you're gonna believe me or not, but my god fellow, he showed himself to me.
That's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
How did
Deplorable.
we survive the night when this guy fell asleep? He was supposed to be on watch.
Good thing Canada's
I
empty.
was dreaming of his gods.
Mind you, I must admit, after a few, I see my god too. I forget what he looks like.
He said there was great evil in this land and that I should be very cautious. And he wants me to try and save as many people as possible.
It's good advice. Let's go find some people.
And I'll just stagger up the stairs.
So, what was the name of your god again?
Felor.
Is it Pelor or Pelor?
Pelor with
We've-
a P.
Oh yeah, Pelor. Yeah.
Pelor.
We've
Pelor.
taken camp in a village that's full of bodies.
And snow!
burnt
Don't forget
rubber.
the snow!
Is this
But
the
you-
god of obvious?
It's very, very obvious.
How dare you speak ill about my god?
Oh, he's role playing now. Do not take me for some conjurer of cheap tricks.
I talk to many gods, so I'm glad you managed to speak to one.
He's
I
the
talked to
god
God
of
once as well.
he's
I'll
the god
oh,
of
man.
life itself.
I'll drop down a couple of stairs and chuck a snowball right at Dax.
Snow! It's not snow! He's gotta go find people to save. Your god said so. Come on!
Like when it first hits me, you get like a stern, like angry look, but then you realise, oh, it's just a snowball countdown.
So you have a meager breakfast of the leftovers from your conjure water and food.
Nom, 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 nom.
Wrap yourselves up. You know the direction that you're going is a southwesterly kind of direction, but you've no idea how far you need to travel or where you need to travel. So what's the game plan?
The
Did
time
we
you get
just
to the
walk?
surface, you find that Giles is already jumping between big giant footsteps in the snow, and he's like a good 100 feet away already.
I am
Guess we
going
go that
to
way.
take to the skies and try to scout ahead.
Okay. And the rest of you
I should
just
get
following
about a
along.
good 5 hours of it.
Does all of the snow count as difficult terrain?
It does count as a little bit harder terrain, but I believe as a ranger you that's cancelled out by if everyone's sort of travelling together. The only person
Yep.
obviously that's not with you is currently flying, so isn't really hindered at all by the
Sweet.
by the snow.
Yield. Ignore difficult terrain and doesn't slow my group down.
Okay, yeah. So
Ability checks.
down on the floor with Giles at the head, going from starts off for the first hour or so being able to sort of follow the footprints for a while, but then they do start to seem to get a little bit harder to follow. But you do notice that at one point the tracks seem to split off in a Y. There seems to be one that goes off to the left and one that goes off to the right. That's what you see on the ground. Up in the sky, Kraylin, you see off to the edge of your vision maybe about half a day's travel away, it looks like there is a mountainous ridge sort of to the south. So for those on the ground, it looks like
to the right.
there's one on the ground. There's one that goes off what looks like goes south, and one that veers off to the what would that be, the west.
Is there any like stones and stuff around?
There's a collection of reasonable sort of size boulders. The whole terrain seems to be scattered with pieces of glacial rock and ice, which are just scattered around.
Because I want to make like one of them, them like waypoint stone markers on the hills and mountains in the countryside that you mark your way with. I want to make one here so we can see. Yeah,
you stop the group for a little bit, and spend a bit of time.
Can we just sort of mark where we're going so we don't get lost in this barren wasteland? I'd much rather leave markers, so to speak, on which way we have come and which way we can go.
Right, seems like a smart idea.
Yeah. You quickly gather together a few of the slightly larger stones and kind of like prop them up so they're stood up and they look more obvious than things sort of scattered around. So where are you putting the first one? So you're currently looking at this sort of like Y shape.
So I'll put the first one literally just in the middle of these Y shapes.
Yep.
And then whichever one we go down, I'll put like one a bit further down, then like a bit further down, and if we decide to come back, we can like
So
make new ones on.
But Bird Kralin, you look down and realise that the group has stopped momentarily.
I haven't stopped. I'm still heading right.
Oh, so you're going straight south, are you?
If that's which way right was, yes. I'm just hopping between the footsteps.
Yeah, there's one which looks like it goes south, and then after a little bit, there's one which looks like it sort of curves off towards the west.
I take right, whichever way that is.
West or south? Because
Which way are we facing?
You're currently facing south.
In which case...
So there's a path going.
That's to my right.
To the right, yeah. So you're going on the western path. So yeah, you see the group has stopped at the entrance while it looks like Dax is putting up one of these stones, and you see the small form of Giles skipping away down the western path. Away, it looks like it is from your view. You see that he is going away from the mountainous area.
Well,
And it doesn't look like anything is stopping Giles either. He's just wistfully going along at his own pace.
I think somebody should either stop Giles or we should keep going. I just want to make sure this is here so we can find it again on our way back. I can
Back just kind of nods and okay, and he'll just start going after Giles on Zeshkul's back.
Okay. And so look
Giles!
Hi, back,
You've gone
your
ahead,
friend.
hello. They're still right. Stay.
Why?
Stay.
What's he doing?
They're far away.
That's good. We go this way.
No, we won't. You won't. No, we won't.
What?
You won't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll sit down in the snow.
Yeah. As he like sits down in the snow, Vac just kind of pats his head. Stop.
So Kralin, you see all this sort of happening below you. How do you react? As you're going around, give me a perception check. Yeah, you don't see anything out of the ordinary. You just see your friends doing what they're doing. What do you do?
I'm just basically gonna keep circling and just keeping an eye out.
So circling the group.
Yeah, for the whole 5 hours that I'm there, I'm just flying above, just
Okay.
circling.
Occasionally
These guys
you
move pretty slowly.
yeah. Well, it looks like one of them would probably move a lot quicker. It is having to almost be held back slightly. But yeah, you're all proceeding.
The irony is, I'm a halfling. I'm 5 foot slower than the rest of you.
You are a monk, though. Okay, yeah. I think you got a speed of 50 feet last time I looked.
Yeah, should I
which
choose
is-
to?
Yeah.
But he's a drunkard. Nobody knows anything other than he's a drunkard.
Yeah.
Get on the giant's back.
So you all start heading down, and eventually, Giles, the rest of the group sort of catch up to you. Dax, you've got your stone set up.
Cool. I continue hopping between
Proceeding
step-
down the
step.
down the trail. So who's at the head of the group then? Would that be you, Giles? Okay,
Yeah.
Giles, can you make me a dexterity saving throw, please?
I can indeed. Yeah.
Tom's turned into an eagle.
Yes, Tom is in eagle form, which has messed up OBS, and now it's just half Kralin and half.
Sorry.
It's fine. 18, yeah. You start pouncing across the snow. There's a section which looks like it's kind of it's just sort of snow, but you see on like the other side of that footprints. And carry on bounding across, and at one point you put your foot down, you hear this almighty crunching of ice and rock below you. You quickly dive out of the way as this chasm opens up underneath you. It seems like underneath where you're walking was a very, very deep looking chasm.
I
It's
go
about-
over to.
Looks as you sort of like turn around and sort of like realise that everyone has sort of avoided you. The chasm looks like it's opened up about 60 feet, sort of from like where you can see, and it does look like it is sort of slowly starting to peter off. But looking down it, we're talking 150 feet at least down.
So how did the giants walk across this? If the
Nice.
halfling managed to break through it?
Not 100% sure. But if they went this way, they obviously had something that they did to avoid that.
Okie dokie, can I, from looking down the hole, see how far across the...
Oh, the actual chasm itself is only about 10-15 feet.
I think
Reasonable
Well, I
jumping
just-
distance for most of them.
I could
so
throw you
I'll just
over.
kind of stumble back, and Vac was closest to me at the time. So I was like, oh, it's a hole, you gotta
Oh,
be careful.
Yeah.
okay.
It's, how we get across?
Um,
You got a ladder?
Back's gonna like.
Like this and pick him up and
Oh, sorry, no, Giles, you were already on one side of it. The crack opened up behind you, and you sort of, well, you could either jump. I thought that you would have it cracked, and you would have fallen forwards, or you could have fallen back towards your friends.
Oh, I'll fall back to us.
Yeah, fair enough then. Yeah, sorry. carry on.
As Giles is being thrown, Vac will instruct Zeshkul to blink, so just sort of like on the other side of the end, just ready to catch him.
Yeah.
Just happiness comes flying towards him.
You think you're going to hit the ground? Ready yourself. Ready yourself to
Bounce
drunk
through
fall.
the snow, spraying snow everywhere, bounce up and land like riding Vac's dog, but back to front, like in Vac's lap. And go,
Yeah.
Hello. Fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Giles, give me a perception check. Just as you're flying across. Technically flying. But it's falling with grace. Nope, never mind. You were going too fast to really notice anything.
It's a big hole there. Maybe maybe we should get some of the zombies across. Maybe we can throw them. I don't think they might be able to jump themselves.
Throw them bit by bit.
You look towards
Bit by
Kevin.
bit.
You look towards Kevin and like Kevin might actually make this.
Kevin can jump. I will
Kevin
throw
will
you.
reform the earth. He could just close the gap.
Yeah. Spoiler.
Kevin's not a good
Spoiler.
leader.
Kevin is a god.
Yeah.
he was Pelor that I saw last
Yeah, man.
night, which is Kevin.
Yeah, man.
So from above, can I see how large this crack is?
Yeah, it looks like I said about 60 feet before it starts to sort of peter off and become not really worth worrying too much about. But if you want to give me a perception check as well, as you're quite high.
So
This is about 60 feet. So can I just walk 60 feet down and walk
Yeah, you
around?
can,
the
you can
crack?
either walk around or you can jump over. It's entirely
It's
up to
only
you.
10 feet. You can
Exactly,
jump it.
yeah. 10, 15
Without
feet or
any
so.
effort.
It's reasonable to jump. Kraylin, what form are you in
Hello.
at the moment? What bird form are you in at the moment?
Giant eagle.
Fair enough, never mind. Like a, oh god, what the hell is it called? Like a magpie. You spot a tiny little glint down the bottom of the chasm. Glint of something which seems to catch the sunlight. A shiny, so to speak.
You see,
I'm gonna swoop in to investigate.
Yeah, you as giant eagle, you can't quite fit down into the gap like too easily, especially like while you're keeping flying. But as you get a little bit closer, yeah, it looks like there's something which seems to be sort of catching the light, sort of half buried under snow. It looks like with the 22, there might actually be a body of some description which is either holding on to or something with whatever it is that's glinting.
can I jump on his back and then can he take me low enough so I can jump off?
A giant eagle's gonna probably be actually a giant eagle probably could because it was about 15 feet. And giant eagles are
I'm
giant
nowhere
eagles.
near him though.
Well, yeah, obviously you'd have to fly down, but yeah, giant eagles are large, aren't they?
Yeah.
Looking at it, yeah, you could probably fly down there as a giant eagle, maybe about 100 feet or so, but then there would be a 50-foot drop, which you know that you wouldn't be able to do, or a 50-foot climb down jagged-looking icy rocks.
So what is it? It's 150 foot deep.
Yeah. And
Right, but
like I said, it kind of goes down like a V. So about 150 feet. It looks kind of narrow, and Kraylin probably wouldn't be able to fit down there as giant eagle form. But it could be climbable down, or you could be dropped down and float down gently if you wanted to. But currently, the only one that knows that it's there is Kraylin. So, do you do anything about this, Kraylin?
Oh, I do. Yeah, I'm the lookout. I'm coming back to inform the party of this.
Okay.
How long have we been traveling at this point?
I'd say about 2 hours.
2 hours. Yeah, I can't really communicate with anybody, so I'm gonna have to pull out a beast form.
Okay.
So when I get back, yeah, just come back out of it. I saw something down there.
She was an eagle.
Yeah.
Did you see Vax? You see that? He was just an eagle.
He was flying. I want to
Aye,
fly.
he does that sometimes.
Well, it's
Guys.
quite easy. I believed I could fly, and I did.
I should try that. It sounds
But-
good.
I'm descended from dragon. Why can't I fly? That's not fair.
Whatever you believe.
I want to fly. Just
Some-
looks into the chasm.
You just feel this firm grip on your collar from behind, like.
Bad move.
Could you
fly back?
Do you really want to fly?
Mm, what do you...
I fly.
You look, there's this fire in Kraylin's eyes.
Yeah.
You wanna
I
fly?
fly.
And
You
there's
tell
just
me
fear
it's
in Vax.
Do it. Do it.
He holds his hands out. Do what?
It's eagle me.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn back into an eagle, and I'm gonna pick Vax up
No.
and
Yep.
grasp him within my claws.
Yeah.
What?
I'm going to fly down into the ravine.
Okay, yeah.
the camera.
You descend about 100 feet or so, and then you know that it starts to get very cramped. You probably won't be able to manage there. But yeah, it still looks like there's about 150 foot drop from there. The sides of the cavern look rocky and craggy, slippy in places where it seems like the sun is maybe melting slight portions of the side wall. And at the bottom there do look to be like sharp stalagmites, because you might trip over them. Stalagmite, because you might trip over them.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I know, I only heard that the other day.
Tight. Yeah.
Just like,
You did it too, Jinx!
Right.
You make up.
Yeah. As you get down a little bit closer, it's fairly easy to see that whatever this glinting was looks to be some variety of mace. With like a glinting-looking head, and there definitely seems to be a body, which looks like it's probably clutching onto it.
Did I hear Mia getting
What's
really
down
excited
there?
I've got a mace. I've got a mace.
I've got to mess you
Back
with
to
your
shapes
shitty
up. There's
face.
a man and the
How-
partner.
How far down
Bring
is
the
this?
body back up.
It's about 50 feet down.
And how far can the blink dog blink?
40 feet to an
40
unoccupied space.
Yeah. So it's like the
Alright.
entire ground spikes.
I'm basically
Not
just gonna
not
sort of
completely spikes, but it would be if you were just dropped down and you weren't particularly agile, you'd probably have a hard time.
Like
Well,
more combat style.
You could
As
blink
though-
to 10 feet above the area you want it to be, then fall 10 feet.
As they're
Yeah.
flying down, Giles will be like peeking over the edge, and then I'm just going to run down the cliff face and stand at the bottom where they're about to land and go, "Come on, it's safe."
Yeah, as you're in a very strange sort of like half run, half climb, half stumble, half fall in places. A few
I definitely bump down on my head a few times as I'm going down.
a few curse words that are you've never heard those ones before. But yeah, you see looking a little bit sort of blustered is Giles stood on the floor next to the body.
Yeah. Although I haven't seen it,
Yeah.
I've just stood by it, going, "Come on, save!"
So Vac will on Zeshkul motion to or like to say to Krillin to let him go and sort of like in mid fall blink towards the direction he wants to go, which is essentially like next to or on top of
Yeah, on top of
Giles.
Giles. Giles is just like sprawled, getting his face licked.
Yep.
Yeah, sure. Easy enough, and yeah, you fall about 10 feet or so and then blink the rest of the way. It's a little bit jarring, but yeah, you safely land down there. Kralin, you're still up there, just sort of holding your place a bit.
So how did you fly, Giles? When did you?
It's very, very complicated. I'll explain it after a few more beers.
But you basically do this, and I'll like sort of go halfway up the wall, turn round and sit on my bum on a little ledge and go, "I like that," or do you do it all the way up? And then I'll fall off
Yeah,
and land head first in the snow in front of him.
I'll help him up.
Thank you. Why are we down here?
There's a body with a hammer.
What? I'll like jump.
Turn around. There's a skeleton. Looks to be wearing a horned helmet. Very tattered looking chainmail and things, and in its hand this gleaming-looking mace. And it's simply a handle, a length of plain-looking steel, and just a round orb for the head of it.
I'm gonna like pick it up. Is it like too big for me?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, it's
No.
a halfling size.
I don't think it counts as heavy. Let me just double check.
What?
Let me just double check.
Oh, cool! A small size. So it's a small size mace.
I'm pretty
The mace is on.
I'm pretty sure,
mace is
unless
on.
it's a heavy weapon, you can't use it. But if it's a regular, because
Yeah.
I was reading up on this, if it
Yeah,
doesn't have
it's-
if it doesn't have heavy, then
Yeah.
you don't need to worry about whether its size it is. In your hands, yes, it is a slightly oversized, but it's still wieldable.
Cool.
I'm
So
just
I like
imagining it's like a giant inflatable hammer like size for like I can do this.
I'll like sling it over one shoulder, like hefting it, and go, "This is brilliant!" And I'll like swing it and like spin on the spot, fling it against a wall, and fall over.
Okay,
Vac
you
just kind of shakes his
fling
head
it.
and grabs.
Yeah, you fling it against the wall, and you expect it's just a mace. It knocks out a considerable chunk of rock and ice as it sort of impacts against the side and sort of tumbles back down to the floor.
Sorry! I'll like go over and start like patting snow into the wall again.
Jesus Christ!
What the hell are you
Everyone
doing
roll
down
religion
there?
check to find out who the hell Jesus Christ is. So, what do you do?
Right, so I'll grab the mace, somewhat reverentially and like take it
Some
towards
idiot
Dax.
who got stuck to a fence or something. You don't know. And all the Christians left the stream.
Cannibal.
Dax
So,
just collects the bones and puts them inside the helmet and just tries to use that to help carry it up.
cool. And you're taking the mace, were you, Giles?
Yeah, I'm clowning around with it, but yeah, I've got the mace.
Yeah, fair enough.
Is that... You're not able to teleport mid-air with the blink ability, right? Oh god, no, I'm gonna die. I was gonna try to blink.
Well, no,
below
technically
without
that's
failing catch me.
technically that's what you did when you jumped off. I imagine you fell off 10 feet and then blinked to the floor, as opposed to blinking down and then falling to the floor because it's a little bit. So yeah, you imagine if you sort of jump up.
Unoccupied space, not to ground, yeah. So I'll just Krillin, catch me! I hope that means yes. So I'll use Zest will it's we died today.
And once he blinks, I'll double dash up the wall and stand at the top.
Yep.
Zest will punches off the wall and blinks 30 to 40.
I don't know how Dax is gonna feel like after seeing his god and then see a halfling run up a vertical wall.
No, run is the wrong word for what Giles does. He sort of stumbles and fumbles and trips and falls a little and
tripling.
But somehow manages to go upwards. And then he gets to the top, looks really confused, trying to grab for something, and then falls over the edge.
So you all find yourself at the top of this little crevasse. Giles holding this bright shining mace and a helmet full of bones, which you hand to Akima.
Yeah!
Burns!
I'm now marching proudly on with this giant mace over one shoulder, just sort of hopping between the footsteps again.
Cool.
Away we go! And then I'll take a swig from my mug from the other hand.
Yeah, Giles patters off into the snowy wastes ever longer, and you follow along, thinking, "Oh God, what trouble will he get into next?" And with that, we shall call the session there, as it's about 10 o'clock.
Sounds good.
Might to open another cavern.
So that was welcome. I'll make sure to change Tiefling Paladin Tam to Halfling Monk Giles.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool. And that'll be for next week. So and we'll see where in the world you guys end up next week.
Eastland, hopefully.
Hopefully Eastland, yeah. I think we're all okay for next week. What's Dot? You said you might be at Whitby, or
yeah, I will be at Whitby. I'll take my laptop with me.
like I said, if you can't, then don't worry too much about it. But obviously, if you can, it would be very good because
next Monday I can't.
But it's the Monday after, so not the 30th. It would be the 6th for you.
Who?
You, Chris.
No, 30th.
Oh, it's the 30th. Oh, that is next week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. So Dax, you won't be there. We're not sure about Dots, but we'll see. If you can, it'd be good. But obviously, I know you're going away for a bit of a mini break, so we'll see.
Because I start work at 8 o'clock, so.
We can always...
everyone but Chris will be here. Is that correct?
Seems so, and I think Dots a maybe, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
If not, I've played a Goliath cleric, so if it comes to it, I can play a heal. I can play a heal bot for a session.
Everything's in his thing that he will do.
Cool.
Didn't you say something about maybe doing some sort of Halloween special?
Oh, I did, yeah. And with the way things have, with the way the story's going, I'm not quite sure it'll fit. Well, it's up to you guys. I have an idea for something that I could do if the whole team isn't going to be here, or we can play the regular game. But we'll have this discussion off the stream. And we'll see. There will probably be something going on next week, but we'll see. So it's a good night from me and a good night from the players.
It's a good night from him.
Good night.
Roll on.
Good night, good night, good night.